eve of pro football. We are on the cusp of pro football, baby. How's that for you? Huh? On the cusp of pro football. This is fantastic, man. Tomorrow night, the banner drops. No matter what Nick Sirianni says, that banner falls tomorrow. Cowboys and Eagles, way to kick it off, NFL. A built-in rivalry to start the season, and then the defending champions too. Great, man. That's what it's about. The 105th season of the National Football League starts out, man. I mean, this is awesome here. I can't wait. Lincoln Financial is going to be jumping. Yes, it's banner night. It is banner night, baby. I don't care what the Eagles say. I don't care what the organization is feeling. By the way, it's a great moment for the fans. Tomorrow night, this time, we're going to be almost prepping to get ready for our pregame. And our very first pregame show of the year is going to be right here on JAKIB. And it's Cowboys and Eagles, man. It's time. All the prognosticating is over. So today, what we are doing, Big Sil Super Bowl predictions. My MVPs, top three. Dak versus Jalen, head-to-head. Also, how about CBS coming out of the gate? And we're going to look at the premium games in the National Football League's Week 1. How you doing? Okay? Prince out of the gate. By the way, folks, Super Chats go to the top. And please hit that like button. So, Prince asked an interesting question. What does toughness mean to you? Can I tell you what toughness means to me, Prince? Showing up when it counts the most. No excuses. Nothing. Go fucking win a game. Go play your best. Play your ass off. Toughness is something where you show up every day. A man goes to work every day, gets off his ass, supports his family. That's what I talk what toughness is. That's a mental toughness. Showing up and doing your job every day. Toughness, again, you can have fraudulent tough guys doing the right thing every day in your life and showing up to go to work no matter what your work is, no matter what your profession is. My grandfather was fucking tough. 3 different jobs. Never complained. That dude was tough. Since the altar has been made for sacrifice for the Cowboys to the football gods for another Super Bowl win. I got you there, man. So the Cowboy players compared us to the Giants. I'm ready to put 53 caskets and 53 plots. Okay? Sills, which team out of the AFC do you think will give the big three, KC, Buffalo, Baltimore, problems? Chargers. Denver. I think those two teams are on the cusp of doing something great this year because of coaching. I like the Chargers this year out of the AFC to make some noise. Hey, by the way, I think the Patriots are going to be one of the surprises in the National Football League this year. I think they've made a ton of moves, and I think that they're going to surprise some people. I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team yet. I got to see the first month of the season. I would also put the Texans in that conversation because of the defense. I like C.J. Stroud. They've got a great wide receiving core. Their O-line is a little bit suspect, but they've got superstars on defense at every level. D-line, linebackers, and secondary. I would make the argument Denver and Houston and Pittsburgh and maybe Baltimore in the conversation for the best defenses in pro football. It's all going to come down on Denver's side on the AFC if they can move the sticks with that quarterback, Bo Nix. Okay, give it to Sean Payton. They've dug out of the Russell Wilson era. And now they're starting to put, in my opinion, some talented people on both sides of the ball. I still think they need more offense. Okay? I mean, That defense is probably going to finish in the top 3. Hit the like button, guys. Super chats go to the top. We appreciate you starting right out of the gate here with us. I'm going to give you my Super Bowl predictions here in a second. And we're going to start that off. Then I'm going to go Dak versus Jalen. I saw something interesting also out of the NFL.com, which was wild. And we're going to hit on that here. So anything you guys want to bring up, we appreciate you guys being here. We're on the eve of the start of the NFL season. We got a great college football weekend lined up too, man. I mean, the ratings, by the way, for week one of the college football season have been insane. The ratings have been over the top. This is going to make for a great year. Cheers to you, Big Sills. Much respect to you. And the old Sills is coming back with the goatee. Would you sacrifice game to see the flaws to fix, and how you doing? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Listen here. Game 1 in the first part of the season. Remember something about September. Okay? September is a liar's month for football. You don't know what you have here. You may look at, hey, ask yourself this. Was the first month of a season for the Eagles a year ago? What was it a month of lies? You were 2-2. Was September a month of lies? Even for the Eagles, right? I mean, it was a lie. They weren't that team, just like the Saints weren't the 3-0 team. Everyone's like they're scoring enormous points. They look great. It was unbelievable. Really, the counter of it was the Saints looked like the best team, and people were dubbing them the best team in the NFL. And they were looking at the Eagles going, oh my God, the coach is in trouble, right? Those words were being said in Philly. After the bye, they went on and never looked back. So remember something about September and this game tomorrow night. The Cowboys can win this game. And, I don't say easily, but the Cowboys can win this game. I've seen stupider things happen in September. I mean, you have the advantage at every single place. Now, if you dissect it, you really don't. But at the most important places, you do. You don't have the advantage in the passing game over Dallas. Dallas is a better passing team than you. Hurts is more complete. Hurts has more tools in the toolbox than what Dak has. And I'm talking individually. I'm not talking just with the roster and the guys in the huddle. Okay? I mean, you see this right here? He's never played competitive football then. Why do you think you guys are moaning about the whole fucking banner thing if there's no chance? And the Eagles are worried about being complacent. They think there's a chance. I always think you don't win in the early part of the season, but you can lose early. That's right. And here's the thing, too. You can't win a Super Bowl in September, but you can lose one. If you start out 0-3, you're not going to the playoffs. That's not happening. You are not going to the playoffs. There's the chances of you going to the playoffs, starting out 0-3, is limited. That's not happening. So September is a weird month. And then by the time, and for the record, here's something else. Well, Bengals started out a year ago, didn't make the playoffs. So, I mean, let's put it here. Tomorrow night, I don't really know what to expect, especially from Dallas. Here's Twiz. Month of learning. Who we are. Okay, listen. Who we were, finding our identity. That's right. Finding your identity in the first month, Twiz. Because this team has a brand new identity. And that identity is on the defensive side. You know who you are offensively on identity. You're a run-first team. And that's your setup. You're nothing more than that. With being able to do play action, and you've got two great receivers. But you're going to start the ball, and you're going to run it first and foremost, because this is what you do best. And this is what teams in the league can't stop. Do you understand? You are the kryptonite to the NFL, and the NFL doesn't like the way you play. They don't. They don't want you making running backs a feature. Your running back is a feature, not A.J. Brown. You don't have a feature wideout, and you don't have a feature passing game. You have the 30th worst football team throwing the ball in the league. Why? And if you want to go down that lane because you choose to, that is anti-NFL. You have the 4th worst passing offense. And you crush teams because you are the kryptonite. They can't stop the run. Teams in this league cannot stop the run. Most analysts on TV say the season doesn't really start until Thanksgiving. It's not how you start the season, it's how you finish the season. Correct. But you got to remember something also too, Harv, about the NFL compared to the college game. You don't have multiple players where if you lose players, you can just plug guys in and you're going to be cool. You have a 53-man roster that was built in April, May, June, all those months. This is what we were saying to you the entire offseason. Dude, your team's set. Maybe a couple pieces around the trading deadline. This is where you're going to go try to win a Super Bowl. You're not doing any more fucking work. It's over. There's no more trades to be done. There's no big, this is it. You're on the eve of it. This is it. All the work you did. There's no big move coming. Those moves are over unless a catastrophic injury happens. This thing's over with. The 53-man roster, it will move mostly at the bottom, though, of your roster, not the top. This is what you're going to go and try to win a Super Bowl with. The men you have active right now heading into week 1. 90% of that roster was made this past offseason. And you've got to live with that, and so does Howie, and so does Nick. So does Vic, and so does Patullo. Those guys all have to live with this. Okay? Now, you may be good enough. I don't know yet. September 3rd. Tomorrow we'll find out on kickoff. All right? There's so much unknown. I see people in here talking about fucking hating. Listen, dude, if you think talking the truth is hating, this ain't the show for you. I mean it. Cristobal talking on Beck on McAfee and GA losing Monken. Hinted at Beck's regression. What I've said, Dawson, perfect OC for Beck and tight with Monken. I predict Beck will be a top 10 pick and first-round draft choice. I thought that was a major loss to them, and also, too, Kim, and I appreciate you with the super chat. I would also say this to you. I think those receivers in Georgia last year were fucking terrible. I think they were absolutely terrible a year ago. Hey, M. Reyes, too bad your fucking Irish got destroyed up front. Sorry about that, dude. That's what happens when, touchdown Jesus takes a knee. Congratulations to you. You got destroyed up front. Not finding out after the first game. No team is going to – that's right. They're not going to have it all together after the first game. You're probably going to take 3 games before you find out on what kind of football team you have. That's correct. What time is Philly 500 versus Holmes? That's right. Battle Royale today. That'll be at 4:30. Those men are ready and primed and ready to rock and roll. It is Cowboys versus Eagles at 4:30. Xander will join us, and that'll be at 3:30. Luck has nothing to do with getting your ass kicked. Sorry, dude. I know you were waiting to jump on it Monday, and give me some shit about Miami getting beat, but that ain't happening. They haven't won a game in South Florida since 1977, and it ain't happening for the next couple decades. How you doing? Go sit back in church, guy. Eat a wafer. You'll be all right. Sills, who are your picks for overachievers and underachievers in tomorrow's game? I've got that too for you. I do. I've got that too, man. I do. Sills, what do you think of Dan Lanning of Oregon? I think he's a damn good football coach. I think they've got all the resources. That's a Southeastern Conference football team that is playing in the Big Ten because they have the money because of Phil Knight. There's a great endowment that is being given to the Oregon Ducks. And even when Phil Knight dies, unlike T-Boone Pickens, when he died, that money dried up at Oklahoma State. That money's not going to dry up at Nike. Do you understand? Every Nike program, every time you buy a Nike product, that supports the Oregon Ducks football program. Do you understand that? So no matter what program you are around the country, that money's funneled back to the Ducks. So if you're a Nike program like Michigan, you're supporting Oregon football. That's why a lot of teams are getting out of the Nike business and they're in the Adidas business. And I don't want to support Oregon football. You're making Oregon more money and the alumni more money and more money for nil for Oregon. And all the colleges around the country see that. Why would I want to have a Nike brand on my team when I can have Adidas and it's just as good a product, especially their cleats? Champ 500 versus mentally depressed Holmes. Right on. Oh, yeah, this is going to be the battle of boosters coming up now. Whoever has the most money. Whoever has the most money in college football. And by the way, you know what that means? That means them Texas schools, SMU, no wonder they made the playoffs. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, all those programs in Texas with that oil money and all those boosters who want to give money. Alabama is going the other way. A&M and all them other schools are going through the roof. Why? Because you got them oil guys hanging out at titty bars who go like this. I went to SMU. I'm going to start kicking money into SMU. And these guys just don't kick money in. They kick tens of millions of dollars into those programs. You want to hear something wild about A&M? They got a Kyle Field. They got this Marriott that's across the street. And during the football season, if you want to get a room and you're an alumni for the game, whatever game that is at Kyle Field, they're in College Station, it's $125,000 for 2 nights. That money goes directly to the football program. You want to play somewhere? You go to Texas A&M. Why do you think all those draft picks that you saw that were at A&M ended up transferring? Because they couldn't play there because they took their scholarships away. That's big money. How you doing? Big ball Seals, my man. I'm so pumped. You the man. King of content. One of my favorite shorts on the JAKIB channel. How you doing, brother? Appreciate you, man, and I appreciate that very much. All right. So I'm going to get into it here. Are you ready? Hold on. I got to get a drum roll. You know, we're meat and potatoes here, JAKIB, so I've got to come up with my own sound effects. You ready? All right. Let me hear you 2 Super Bowl teams. Who you picking for your Super Bowl teams? I've got 2, of course. Who makes it to the Super Bowl? In Santa Clara. Okay. Eagles, Ravens. Ravens, Rams. Birds and Chiefs. Bucs and Texans. Eagles and KC again. Sills, Bills and Rams. Lions might be an issue. Detroit and Buffalo. On September 3rd, I am saying the Ravens and the Ravens it's 3 teams. I've been debating it all day. It's Ravens. I can't trust Stafford. I do not trust Matthew Stafford. No way. I don't know what I'm getting with the Eagle defense. But there's stars on that team, on that side of the ball. I came on here not 1,000% sold on the NFC side. The Lions, you lost Ragnow, another Pro Bowl guard. You lost your 2 coordinators. How much of an issue? You got an experienced quarterback, and I love the head coach. And then I look at the Bucs. Mayfield and the Eagles have nightmares against that team. It's the only football team in the last 3 years that has beaten them and has beaten them soundly. Says, are you going to travel the week? Are you going to give week 1 predictions? That'll be on Friday, my friend Eduardo. Yes. I'm going Ravens and Buccaneers. Only reason I'm going with the Buccaneers is because the Bucs beat you. The Bucs struggle against other teams in the NFC. Like last year, they were 0-2 versus the Falcons. Versus you, they've destroyed you the last 2 games. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, in the last 4 games, it's like 2-2. You don't have, and the only reason that I'm going Bucs is because the quarterback is good enough. They just signed their right tackle. When Lane Johnson retires, Luke Goedeke is going to be the best right tackle in football. And they just gave him $22.5 million. And so they've got him and Wirfs, who's the best offensive tackle in football. And so you've got bookends. I think that kid Barton is going to be a Pro Bowl center. I don't think he's better than Cam. But they've got 3 dudes in that old line now, which that's the formula that the Eagles have. So, and by the way, every time Baker Mayfield plays against the Bucs, he outplays Hurts. Every time. He's been on the field, he outplays Jalen Hurts. Those are facts. I'm not comfortable with that pick. The only reason I'm not taking the Rams is because I can't trust Stafford. And the Packers, I don't know if Micah Parsons puts them over the top. I'm going to say their run defense has got to suffer a little bit without the help of Clark in the middle, right? I think their defense is good, but does he put them over the top? I don't think so. Well, this guy kicks the shit out of you. He beats the shit out of you. Kyle, give me the score of the last 2 games the Bucs have played against the Philadelphia Eagles. Can you give me the score? One was a playoff game that sent your asses home. And another one was a year ago when you won the Super Bowl and they blew your doors off. Well, we didn't have all our guys. Well, that's a you thing, man. It's called NFL football. Welcome to the big leagues. This is what I talk about with the war of attrition. That team didn't have all their wide receivers either. The Bucs haven't defeated us, really. The last 2 football games, they've kicked your ass. You just told me about making excuses. Don't make excuses, Prince. That's a fucking post of excuses right there. Right there. That's a post of excuses. full team, welcome to the NFL, dude. Welcome to the league. It's called the war of attrition. You see that post? That's a post of excuses. We got my game, my guy, we're not here. The too hot. We got off the bus. We fucking didn't want to. It's a fucking excuse post. Everything he posted there is excuses. This guy doesn't want to give any excuses for the other guy. You get none either. We may take a step. Well, we're going to find out. I don't know that yet, Kim. Okay? I don't know that. Your fucking Super Bowl's old news. Sills, does that mean we're getting Battle Royale 2.0? Listen, I don't have any angst towards John, and I don't believe John does either with me. We just happen to see the game in a different view. He sees it with a pad in his hand. I see it with my hand in the ground. Okay? How could I not see it that way? John's had a pad in his hand his entire life. Me, I see the game with my hand in the dirt. It's just a different view. Just a different opinion. Okay? It's just I see it differently. The players see the game differently than what writers do. How would they know how we see it? How would we know how they see it? I don't. It's not a rip. How is that a shot? John sees the game with a pad in his hand and a microphone in his hand covering the Eagles. I see it through my hand in the dirt because I've played it at every fucking level. How could it be any different? That's not a shot. How is that a shot? I can't help it. I played and I was drafted and I played in the NFL and I played pro football. How would I see it any other way? That's a shot? Wow. Well, hey, dude, I don't see the game with a pad in my hand. I see the game having had my hand in the dirt. Been in actual meetings, preparing for football games on Sunday, running out of the tunnel. It's just different. Get this, implying that his takes have no value. How's that when I say John's views are from a reporter and I'm from a former player? Who? I never said that. Dude, you people make shit up and you hear what you want to hear. And you have the problem with John and me. I don't. I see the game different, having played it. I mean, how's that not reality? I don't see us taking a step back. I do on defense. But it will take longer to get together, unfortunately. That's what you get with younger players and new players. Absolutely true. Okay? No, I don't have to remember because you'll remind me unless I have to remind you guys. So Reed Blankenship is getting this contract tomorrow on the eve. Is that right? How many people believe that Reed's getting that contract tomorrow? He might. He might. Is he getting it tomorrow? You guys told me all offseason he was getting it. And they're going to pay him $15 million. Oh, I think he's going to get $15 million. But I don't think he's getting $15 million in Philly. That's why he hired an agent. Because he's going to shop his talents. He's betting on himself. I bet you $10 that they've offered him a contract and his agent didn't negotiate a good enough deal. And it was on the table, and his family and him said, you know what? I'm going to have an opportunity to get somebody else in here that could get me more money for my value that I think I'm worth. My agent currently right now doesn't think I have enough value. That's why you fire agents. because the agent didn't want to push it, and the agent probably told him this is the best you're going to get anywhere. And I would say that Reed probably said, fuck that. Because don't you agree? If there was a good deal on the table, why do you need a new agent to cut a new deal that agent already cut? There was a deal on the table. He wasn't happy with how it went and the negotiations, how they went, so he got a brand new guy. Or he told him, I'm betting on myself, like Milton Williams did. And Milton signed a $100 million deal. Look at what Jesse Bates signed down in Atlanta. The Bengals didn't want to pay him. He went down to Atlanta, signed a big-time deal down in Atlanta. Sometimes there's a team that has your number. It's just that simple. The Bucs have their number right now. I'll tell you what, I don't know if they have their number. I do know this, that Todd Bowles knows how to defense and knows how to game plan versus Jalen Hurts and that offense. And you know what they have on that team that very few teams have? They've got Vita Vea. Vita Vea stops the run. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember anybody on that Bucs defense not being in that game. And I remember the Bucs offense running right down that field on them and jamming it down Jalen Carter's throat. Jalen Carter shouldn't have got off the bus that game. He got annihilated in that football game. Where was he? He wasn't hurt. Your all-pro defensive tackle got his ass kicked in that game. Did he not? That whole front four got kicked. They got their asses. They got 31 put on them. I mean, listen, I get and you're going back. I'll tell you what, I'd probably pick the Eagles to win that game if it was in Philly in September. But because it's down there in the heat, that's going to play a factor. That humidity's stupid. Right. That whole defense didn't want to be out there. Ain't nobody missing off that team that day. They got destroyed. And again, destroyed. The humidity is insane. Like I said, if that game was in Philly, I'd probably pick the Eagles to win that game. But because it's down in Tampa, that's going to be a challenge. I got to wait and see who's healthy for that football game yet before we get there. AJ Brown play. That's a you thing, dude. Don't ever use excuses on injuries. That's a you thing. That's not the Bucs' responsibility if you get hurt. Fuck that. I mean, the Detroit Lions didn't make excuses up, and they still won 15 ball games without Aiden Hutchinson. There's no excuses. You don't get excuses on that. Injuries are part of the season. It's why your team was so good last year with your substitutes. Isaiah Rodgers, Oren Burks, Fred Johnson. Those guys were so good. Every single one of those guys were a valued asset last year. You don't win the Super Bowl without those guys as a group. Not one, as a group. They filled in for Slay. They filled in. Man, you didn't miss a beat in the playoffs with Burks. I mean, Fred Johnson played 6 ball games, 2 for Lane and 4 for Mulata. Didn't give up nothing. Actually killed Trey Hendrickson in the Cincinnati game. Okay? That is not, get this guy, so what? So what? You were healthy in the playoff game. Oh, that's right. AJ didn't make it, and you got destroyed. Here you go, kissing the Bucs. No, I'm picking out of the fucking, and I have no team I root for. I don't root for the Bucs. I don't root for them. I played for them, and I don't. I don't root. Hey, Big Marshall, I have told you since day one, I root for one team, the Hurricanes. That's it. I root for nobody else. Nobody. It's been that way for 37 years. I root for no NFL team. I never have. I never will. That's facts. Okay? Never have I rooted for a football team in the NFL. Maybe when I was a kid, the Giants, because of Robustelli. Outside of that, I've never rooted for a pro football team on a weekly basis. Hey, Sue, you're going to have to help me out when Josh Allen's an NFL team. Sills make excuses because the sorry-ass Bills, bro, excuses? Why, because he doesn't have as good a team as you? Whatever, guy. Go sit in the corner. Sick of that guy. Sills, Bowles is good. He's a good defensive coach. Part of Bowles' advantage was Jalen Hurts' inability to read a defense instead of protection. He's still, hey, Bob, he took 51 sacks. He took 51 sacks last year. He took a ton in the playoffs. He's getting much better. He'll have to be. 51 sacks he took. He took like 14 in the playoffs. He still struggles with up-the-gut pressure. His ability or his attitude is, I'd rather take a sack than an incompletion. I think that takes you out of field position. Yeah, so much so, Bowles is on the hot seat. He just got a 3-year fucking contract extension making more money than Sirianni. How's he on a hot seat? The Bucs just gave him a 3-year contract extension. Hot seat? I'm not sure what you're talking about. That's right. I only root for the Hurricanes. Actively. I don't root for NFL teams. I like watching great football players. Okay? I don't think I've ever rooted for the Bucs. I don't think I've ever. Even when I played, I don't think I ever did. I mean, I don't think I ever did. No way you're losing sleep over the Bucs. I don't think they're losing any sleep over you either. They beat you. Many players excelled while using performance-enhancing drugs, but once banned, they struggled significantly. I'm sure that has a lot to do with today. Sills, if the Niners fall this year, you think Shanahan is on the hot seat. If I was Kyle Shanahan, I'd want a new address. I'd want to go up to Buffalo. If Buffalo doesn't win the Super Bowl, I'm getting rid of Sean McDermott. I'm getting rid of McDermott. He's not the right coach for them. Okay? He's not. Damn, these people be saying the same shit. So what you mean, Big Sills? I mean, okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. Castellanos, yes, he's a really good-looking prospect. I probably think he's in the 3rd round right now. See here. It's everyone's fault but Allen's. Okay, once again, dude, name me one player in Buffalo, one offensively that could start in Philly. Name me one player. Name me one player. You can't. Nobody's blaming Hurts. I'm not taking any marks away from Jalen for having a good team. That guy doesn't play on a great football team. He plays on a really good team. I'm talking Allen. Where? Over who? A.J. Brown? So their number one guy is this kid here, Khalil. He's not beating out A.J. Brown. Oh, I see. You want to move guys around, so their number one is their number 3, so he's better than Dotson. That's not how it works. Their number 1 receiver, their number 2 receiver, their number 3 receiver wouldn't make the Eagles team, period. Who the fuck is Knox? Give me a break. By the way, let's do this then. Let's go down here. CBS did something pretty cool here. So CBS came out with their first week of quarterback rankings here. I thought it was wild. Actually, I don't agree with it. But their first week of NFL football, here's how they look at the quarterbacks going into this. Going into the year. Let's see here. Here we go. Quarterback rankings. Oh, no, this is NFL.com. Quarterback rankings heading into week 1, into the 2025 season. Number 1, Mahomes. Okay. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Jaden Daniels. By the way, this is the NFL.com. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Number 7, Matthew Stafford. Number 8, Baker Mayfield. Number 9, CJ Stroud. Number 10, Jared Goff. Number 11, Jalen Hurts. Number 12, Geno Smith. That's the NFL coming out. That's the NFL.com. That's not like a media outlet. That's the league. This is the league's website. And this is a Pro Football Hall of Fame writer here. Mahomes 1, Lamar 2, Allen 3, Burrow 4, Jaden Daniels 5. This is based off of a year ago. Herbert 6, Matthew 7, Stafford, Mayfield 8, Stroud 9, Goff 10, and Hurts 11. Okay, I mean, I guess so. He didn't have a very big passing year a year ago, and it wasn't a very good passing offense, no matter what you say. No matter how you want to dress that pig up. It wasn't. And so that's what the NFL, guys like John McMullen, who write for NFL.com, and beat writers are saying about the quarterbacks. Do I agree? No. I think he does a different skill set for that team. I told you, I'm not taking him out of my top 5. Until something dramatic happens. Hurts is, in my opinion, Hurts is not descending. Hurts is ascending. He's not falling. He's ascending. So I don't care what those people think about him heading into this game. I think he's getting better. I think he's getting smarter. I think he's getting hungrier. I think he's striving for greatness. I don't see it like that. The 11th best quarterback in pro football who's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and everybody around him has all these massive contracts. I don't see the game like that. Again, I had my hand in the dirt. That guy has his hand on a notepad. I don't see it that way. I just don't. Hurts is the 11th best quarterback in pro football, really? Yeah, well, you'd have a tough time convincing anybody who plays on a team, a quarterback who's involved with carrying a team to 2 NFC championships and winning both of them and then winning a Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm not there with that. I saw that list, and even I had to go, come on, man. Are you doing that for clicks? You guys accuse me of that. At least I'm not going there. Okay, I'm not going there. I'm just not. I can't lie to you like that. That's a lie. I mean, okay? Let's see here. Seals, even with the Super Bowl win, do you think Sirianni, he will be a better coach or still live off a good offense and Vic and Gannon for his success? Listen, a good owner of a company or a good general manager or a good head coach, if you've got great assistant head coaches and they're great at being able to put talented people in talented positions, that's a reflection on you. The problem you have in Philly, that Nick doesn't get that shine. Howie gets it. Nick will never get his due with Howie Roseman in the building. You understand that? Jalen will never get his due with Barkley in the building. But together, they're going to do it together. Nick Sirianni will never get the respect that he covets as long as Howie Roseman. But I think he's accepted that. He has completely accepted that fact. Because you know why at the end? At the end of the day, folks, you add up wins and losses. And then people will make assessments on that. Listen here, I like this idea. I think he is really good when he goes up tempo. And I would do that to the Cowboys all night long. Get them caught in situational substitution changes. I think the Cowboys are going to be unorganized in this game because of Brian Schottenheimer. I do think that Matt Eberflus is a heck of a defensive coordinator. Guys, he may not be that. I think he won the Coach of the Year award in the NFL. He's a damn good coach, especially defensive. But I like that idea. I think when the Eagles go up tempo, that offense has a rhythm to it, and they look better. Seals, I don't think Saquon's a Hall of Famer yet. But what's the difference between him and Terrell Davis? Terrell Davis's career was ended with an injury. Barkley's career began with the Giants. That's not an injury. Same thing with Sayers. Sayers went to the Hall of Fame. Why? Because everyone saw his great gifts, and it ended prematurely. He went to the Hall of Fame when he was 28 years old. So do you understand? Pretty much the same age that Barkley is right now. Sayers went to the Hall of Fame, waiting 5 years. And he was 28 when he went into the Hall of Fame because of a knee injury. He's the youngest man ever to be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think at 27 years old. He's the same age as Barkley and had to wait 5 years. That was his greatness with the Bears. Okay? I hear that quarterback list, and all I think about is Mike Singletary saying, I want winners. I don't care about stats. Listen, I'm not on that list with that. The 11th best. Okay? Shocker. Start a radio show and pick the Bucs. Hey, dude, that's for losers like you listen to in Philly. I don't root for the fucking team. I don't give a fuck what you think, bro. Start a radio show? I could have started it in Topeka, Kansas. Wouldn't have fucking mattered. I don't root for anybody. And yeah, that's me. Having been fired multiple times and having been fired in Tampa by the Bucs. That's right. I was fired by that team. Cowboys think they could dominate Carter. Yeah, well, that's wishful thinking. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers went to my company and told him he goes or we go. And this fucking loser's trying to tell me, start a radio show in Tampa and pick the Bucs. You have no idea about my history. Stop acting like you know me. You taught me that players have to get respect in the league to get calls. Correct. What's your take on this season with Carter getting the calls he deserves? The question will be the players around him. Okay? That it'll be the players around him. I do believe Carter will start getting more calls now because he's building up equity with the refs. I do believe that. Yes. Okay, I do. He's only down there because the passing numbers, the league doesn't want the quarterbacks winning the way Hurts does. Correct. Yes. Nobody wants to see a boring running team. Run right, run left, run right, run left. There's a reason the quarterbacks are the highest paid guys in the league and not the running backs. They don't want running backs being stars. They want quarterbacks. They're the TV stars of the league today. That's who they want. And the Eagles go, we're going to win a football game any way we see. If that's with Jalen, or if that's with Barkley, or if that's with the defense. That's how they're going to win ball games. And they can't handle the fact that the Eagles can do it multiple ways. Okay? Barkley is a star, ranked number 1 by the NFL players. I don't know what that means. Thanks a lot, guy. Congratulations. He was ranked number 1 by the players. Stop the crap. On what are you talking about? Once again, a out of fucking nowhere post. It means nothing. Bro, you like holler in the wind. What do y'all come here every day and cry of what Sills says hurts your feelings so much? Go watch Miss Rachel with your kids. I'll just listen to opinions unless they align with yours. Bro, thank you very much. Dude, you get it. You get it. Way to go, man. That's funny. That's funny shit right there. Good for you, man. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button here. I'm Switzerland yet on him, Marcus. I think he's okay. Okay? I do. I think he's okay. Outside of Mahomes, no quarterback has won like Hurts today. You mean like the Eagles? Let me ask you something, Richard. Richard, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles would be winning if Hurts was a quarterback or he wasn't the quarterback? You won a Super Bowl with a substitute guy in the past. Do you think you wouldn't be winning Super Bowls or a Super Bowl? Or do you think he wouldn't be having the success? And so you're saying this, how he wouldn't be having the success he's having if Jalen Hurts wasn't on the team. Is that right? Okay. So Howie's career is based off of Jalen, not vice versa. Interesting. So then you don't really think he's the best GM in football. You think that it's all Hurts and not Howie. Is that what you're saying? So which is it? Is it how he helped build the Super Bowl team at 17, right? He helped build that Super Bowl team at 17, correct? Takes 2 to tango? Howie's won a Super Bowl without Hurts. How do you justify that? You don't need him. He's already won. Hurts hasn't won a Super Bowl without Howie. Remember that one dynamic that changed in New England? When Brady went to Tampa and won, that cast a bigger shadow over Bill, didn't it? Okay? I mean, he won with Doug. He won a Super Bowl with Doug in a completely different football team. He won it without Jalen. I mean, Jalen hasn't won shit without him. Howie's proven it's him. No? Who hired Nick? Howie. Who hired Vic? Howie. Who hired Patullo? Howie. Who drafted the players? Howie. So what are we talking here? You thinking really you wouldn't win if there was a different guy in the building? We'll never know that. It's a crazy question. But all I know is that Howie's won without him. He's won a Super Bowl without Jalen Hurts. He didn't need him. Howie won a Super Bowl without Andy Reid. And he couldn't deliver it. So the most important person in that building ain't the quarterback. The most important person in that building is the guy upstairs. Do you not agree? I'm asking a question. I don't know how you guys see it. Right? Let me tell you something. Let me ask you this question. Just for fun here. If you had to lose one guy, Howie or Jalen, who would you lose? If a team came in and said they wanted to give you 3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks, who would you want more? Howie or Jalen Hurts? So get this. You would take the guy who built the dynasty. I mean, you would take the guy who didn't build the dynasty, and then you would put a guy like Julian Laurie in there, and you think you'd be the same. All right, well, you're about to find that out real soon. Even my boy Stevie knows better. You're about to find that out soon. So wait a minute, Crowley said right now it's all Jalen and not Howie. Okay. Got where you're standing. So it's all Jalen, according to Crowley. And it ain't Howie. You guys wouldn't win unless Jalen was in the building. Howie, you can lose him. Right. Okay. Interesting. All right. Hey, love asking questions here. All right. How do you attack the Cowboys on... Oh, wait. Let me go here. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Battle Royale will happen. That will be at 4:30. Big Z will be with us at 3:30. Do you really have edge rushers? A, B, C, or D? Give me a grade on your edge rushers heading into Dallas on Thursday night. Are they premier? Are they good? Are they great? What are they? What are your edge rushers? Heading in, you have to create pressure tomorrow night. Let me say this to you. If Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith don't get pressure on Dak, it's going to be a ball game. You realize that. It's going to be a ball game. If he's allowed to sit back there and your guys who you've been crowing about this entire offseason and you have 2 edge rushers, in my opinion, on that team. You don't have a group of edge rushers that I would sit there and say are great. Or I would say this, your 2 guys have potential. Those are potential guys. I'm not sold that those guys are premium defensive ends in this league yet. Those guys had a good stretch. That doesn't mean they can play 17 ball games. I've been saying that the entire fucking offseason. I have nowhere in the room even, I don't know who Jalix Hunt is. He looks the role. He looks the role. I was referring to the top 10, but Howie, I trust. Okay, Richard, I got it. Richard, Howie Roseman would be winning no matter if Jalen Hurts was the quarterback. Here, let me give you one here. Joe Gibbs. It doesn't matter who the quarterback was. It was Joe Gibbs. Whether it was Theismann, Doug Williams, or Mark Rippon. It didn't matter. It was Joe Gibbs. And it was their fabulous general manager. It was the GM and the head coach that won those 3 Super Bowls. Didn't matter who the quarterback was. Okay? Hurts couldn't win without Barkley, Brown, or Devontae. Listen, Niners, you can't dismiss the ability to have good players on your football team. That's true. But what's the one thing he does that's different than what Purdy did? He won. You're right. He couldn't win without Barkley, Brown, or Devontae. My friend, Troy Aikman couldn't win without Michael Irvin or Emmitt Smith. I get it. Terry Bradshaw, not going to win without Franco Harris, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, Mike Webster. Not winning. I understand. And Chuck Noll was a Hall of Fame coach. Okay? Montana did win without Rice. How many times do I got to keep telling people that? Montana won without Rice. Purdy can't win without his guys. Okay? Neither can Hurts. But that's not I don't know how and where that became a bad thing. Okay? I mean, I don't know where that became a bad thing. Okay? Joe Montana. There were no Hall of Famers on that offense. He won his first Super Bowl. You fucking idiot. There's not one Hall of Famer on that first Super Bowl. Not one on offense that he played with. Not one. There were barely any Pro Bowlers. Nobody in the O-line. No running back. They had dudes named Burt Cooper running. They had another guy. Dwight Clark's a good player. He wasn't great. Freddie Solomon was the wide receiver number one. Freddie Solomon, who I knew, God rest his soul. You fucking idiot. This guy's stupid. By the way, how about this one? I'll give you a guy that won a Super Bowl without anybody. Name me a guy off that New York Giants team that Jeff Hostetler played with that won a Super Bowl that went to the Hall of Fame offensively. Name me one guy. O.J. Anderson? You can't even remember the wideouts. Name me one guy that won a Super Bowl. That's Super Bowl. Name me one guy that Phil Simms won the Super Bowl with that's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You fucking idiot. That he played on offense with. Name me one. Those two Super Bowls that Parcells won, name me one Hall of Famer that those guys played with. None. Zero on offense. Zero. Yeah, nice try. He ain't a Hall of Famer. Fucking idiot. I mean, name me one. I'm answering a question. Okay? Talking about me. What do I have to do with it? Dude, you are just the dumbest guy on the planet. Seriously. I mean, honest to God, you must wear a cellophane hat or a aluminum foil hat before you go to bed after watching a ball game. You have to be wearing an aluminum foil hat. I mean, honestly, man, I don't get it. Jalen beats Mahomes. If you put him on the Bills and Ravens, he doesn't shrink. Yeah, okay, whatever. Right. So you're telling me if Jalen Hurts doesn't have Devontae Smith in that offensive line, he's going to go up to New York or he's going to go to Buffalo and he's going to win a Super Bowl? That's a ridiculous take. Okay? That's a ridiculous take. So I'll ask you again. Do you believe that you have edge rushers heading into this game? You're going to need pressure on Dak. Okay? You're going to need pressure on Dak. Okay? Sills, let's not assume Howie would win everywhere because most owners, that's a great take. Jeffrey Lurie's part of this. Don't put the money up front. You're right. Laurie allows Howie to fix the misses. It's a great take. He's dead on. The owner allows that. Okay? The owner does allow the fixes to be. Get this. When you screwed up on Carson Wentz, well, I don't really think that's a screw up. I think Carson Wentz just fell on his face. Okay? I think he just fell on his face. And that's what happened. But the Huff moves, the Reddick move's not a bad move either. He helped win you an NFC championship. Okay? Agreed. Let's see here. Yeah. So, do you believe heading in, you're going to need pressure on Dak? Wait, Sil, so when we don't have our guys to play the Bucs, it's a you problem, correct? But when Josh loses, it's because he doesn't have guys around him. Yeah, well, that's right. If an organization is not building a football team, having guys on your roster because the organization can't put good players on your roster, use common sense here, Drew. If a general manager can't draft correctly or sign free agents for your roster, that's one thing. Guys getting hurt, that's part of the game. So when a general manager is not very good and they don't have good players, nobody's questioning whether or not you have good players. Injuries in the NFL during a regular season, the war of attrition is part of it. When you have organizations that don't build around the quarterback completely and build good players around him, that's far different than a guy blowing a hamstring out. They have nothing in common with one another. Zero. Nothing. It's a dumb take. Just because Jalen is the only quarterback drafted since Mahomes to win a Super Bowl, putting him in Buffalo doesn't, of course it doesn't. However, he wouldn't lose. One thing is for sure about the kid. The kid does compromise his abilities and figures it out. Most of these other guys can't figure it out. It takes a great head coach to figure it out. Hurts' journey and being around Saban. I think the biggest influence in Jalen Hurts' career has been Saban. Because why? Gave him a scholarship to go to Alabama, and he told him he wasn't good enough to stay at Alabama. I don't know how that would not fuel you. Remember that. The biggest moments in his career for his development as a player in Philly was being told to go home. You can't quarterback this team anymore. And they won a national title and got better. And that fueled him. Now, Tua and him are, one's the sun, one's the moon. They're two different guys now. I think that fueled him. He was asked to leave, not Tua. Tua went on to win a national title. Hurts got annihilated in the championship. Not that anybody wouldn't. Oh, listen, all of that I'm saying is, I think it fueled the kid. And it's made him the player he is now. You imagine being told that you're not good enough, go home. The greatest college coach of all time told him to go home. He had to transfer and leave. He didn't want to leave his teammates. Again, we're getting into the LJ mode now. Says you can't read, okay? But you have the nerve to call someone dumb. Holy shit, bro. Dumb and Sills are in the dictionary together. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, kid. As a matter of fact, from now on, we'll be doing this. You're in that room now. Jalen got them to the NFC Championship game. Tua cashed in, but Tua got killed against Clemson in the championship game. Through pick six, and I believe in the first quarter. Jalen Hurts got killed in the championship game. Oh, wait a minute. Jalen Hurts got killed by LSU when he was at Oklahoma. That's right. That's what I'll say. Okay? Yes. So, how many How many people believe on Thursday night? Okay. Hey, Prince, question for you. Why are you here? Why are you here every day? Why are you here? I'm trying to have fun talking football. Why are you here? I'm just curious. Why are you here every day? To fuck with Xander? He's got a show. You can fuck with him in the mornings. Why are you here? Oh. Just get your shit together. You're banning. I'm not banning anybody. I'm not banning anybody. I don't ban people. I don't lock them out. I just ignore them. I just ignore them. I mean, I'll just ignore you now. Believe me, I give more people here more access to me than I've ever in 40 years of my broadcasting career. Okay? Okay, really? I've been doing this for 40 years, guy. I don't really need you. I don't. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good job, dog. Have a good one. Jalen loves Saban. He quotes him consistently. I think because I just said, hey, Kim, I think he's learned so much from that experience that I believe that it's fueled him. I completely do. I think it's fueled him. And to being the player that he is right now. Okay? Absolutely, man. I think that guy has done and grown so much as a leader. Okay? So anyway, this show is about me. You're here. Okay? Hey, anyway, banner night tomorrow, all good. Here's what I think you guys have to do tomorrow night against the Cowboys. Okay? I would just run the football. See this dude here? This is what you do against this dude's team. I think you just run the football at this guy. And you run that football at him, and you run that football at him until that guy says no mas. Just run the football at him. You show up tomorrow night, you run that ball, you control that clock. Two things. Don't turn the ball over and own the clock. If you do that, let me put it to you this way. I don't believe that team can hold up to your pressure. Sills, then why are we having the book clubs on the sidelines? Listen here, man. Pump. You know, this is why we got the book clubs. I got it. I would make this point to you, brother. It's going to be a boring game tomorrow night, and they're going to run them off the clock. Nolan and Hunt will do great. They did amazing in the Super Bowl. Okay, I would say this to you. Okay, we'll find out. I don't believe that Nolan Smith's a 17-game football player. I do not. And Jalen Hunt, because they played great in the Super Bowl, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to play great throughout the year. Okay? Honestly, it better be a boring game tomorrow. That is such a good take. Absolutely. Okay? Let it be a boring game. 38 carries, 200 yards rushing, 27 first downs to like 12. They just run them into the ground. Don't throw the ball. I hear a ton of people saying this. Well, Jalen's going to open up the pat. Why would you give them the ability to have 3 and outs? I don't want to run the ball. Okay? I don't. I do not. I want them to run that thing. And personally, I want to see more running from Hurts. 25 passes, that's about right. I hear John say this all the time. John goes, the game will dictate how many carries. Here's the difference between John McMullen and me. Guy with a pad in his hand and guy with his hand in the dirt. You ready? I dictate the game. They don't dictate the fucking game. I'm the boss. I dictate it. I dictate tempo. I dictate what I'm going to do to you. I don't fucking succumb to your bullshit. I'm going to run you over. And I don't believe you can. So I'm going to run the ball 50 times at your ass. You don't have the personnel to stop me. That's like saying I want to get into a fight and I'm a heavyweight champion with a big punch. And because the guy is a jabber, I'm going to get into a jabbing fight with him. Why? That's how you get beat. I'm going to go and throw in haymakers because I'm going to hit him on the chin and I'm going to knock his ass out. I dictate pressure. I dictate tempo. I dictate the game. I'm not waiting to see what you want to fucking do. I'm the boss. I'm the champ. I got Barkley. I got the O-line. Why in the fuck would I want to sit there and throw the ball and get into some sort of balanced attack when you can't handle the number one thing that we know is getting punched in the face? Why would I do that? Honestly. Well, hell, they're not dictating dick to me. I'm dictating it. I'm the boss. The Eagles are the boss. When they walk in, they're the bouncer. You're the patron. Act like it. Okay? Right? Sills, the reason they need to open up the pass, they need to open up the passing game when you can't stop getting punched in the chin. Hey, Bob, the Cowboys have one hand tied behind their back entering this game. Why would you want to fight them with both hands when you don't have to? Throwing the ball? That makes no sense. Play action. The Cowboys don't have the personnel to match up with you in a physical football game. They're a finesse team. Why do I want to get into a finesse game? I want to see if they're physical. I don't believe the Cowboys are. You want to get into a game where when 98 needs to block him, every play it helps. Listen, I think Jalen Carter is going to get doubled a lot in this ball game. But I don't think the Cowboys have a good offensive line. 45 rushing attempts, 18 passes. Dude, 45 attempts, 25 rushes, 70 type plays. You're going to annihilate them. And get this, you're probably going to injure half the team. You are. Message to the Cowboys. Be happy with this chicken or bologna sandwich and be happy with it. You ask for more, we're going to knock you out. That's right. The Cowboys have different players from last year. They're worse. They're worse. Your draft picks have been terrible. Tyler Guyton and Mozzie Smith are Andre Dillards to the Eagle fans. Your two last draft picks in the first round couldn't make the Eagle team. Tyler Guyton would be cut. Mozzie Smith would be beat out by that kid, Byron Young. He couldn't beat Gabe Hall out. I mean, bro, you're making it sound like you've got a plethora of... Look, I think your defensive line is okay. I don't think they're... Okay? I think they're okay. I don't think they're terrible up front. But you ain't in that room with that old line, dude. Now, I don't believe Landon Dickerson's healthy. And just because he's healthy to play on the first game doesn't mean he's 100%. And boy, I'll tell you, I think that's a gamble for an organization that doesn't like to gamble health. I don't know, man. You're going to really put that dude out there when you don't really need to? I get you want to make a statement in that game, and I get it's a divisional game. But boy, I'll tell you, if that guy gets injured in a ball game and he gets hurt in that ball game more and he starts to miss significant time after that, you're going to have a problem, especially if Tyler Steen doesn't play well this year. The inside of your offensive line, dude, Tyler Steen, you guys are just giving that a hall pass. I'm not sold that guy's going to be a good player yet. That guy did not have a very good year last year. I'm not sold he's good. That guy did not have a good year. And I heard Jason Kelce say that. Seals, the reason you do it against the Cowboys is because you can. Showing the rest of the league, why would I want to show the league anything and not make it simple in an ass beating? I don't want to show the league anything. Why would I want to give you a heads up in Kansas City and give Steve Spagnuolo a heads up? I would never want to show. If I don't have to show the Rams or Kansas City anything, I'm not giving you anything. You want to open up your entire fucking playbook and you want them to see why, so Kansas City can game plan you next Monday night? No way. I want the element of surprise in many things. You want me to sit there and open up my entire playbook for the Rams, the Bucs, and the Chiefs? Why? Okay? Why? Doesn't make sense. Thank you, Prince. Appreciate it. He's talking about running the ball. Is he not? I'm talking about running it. I want to run it down their throat, man. Agree with not showing certain plays, but don't get their secrecy of injury. I don't get that either. Okay, I get it. You're trying to play gamesmanship a little bit. Okay, I do. This game is an opportunity to play backups and test them out against starter cells. Okay, all right. Okay. Hey, me too, bro. Don't worry. I got one around the corner, Prince. She's kind of mean to me, though. Oh, dude, this guy Tyler Booker from Bama, this guy's been talking all kinds of shit about facing Jalen Carter. Homeboy, you better have your lunch pail with you and a miner's cat because you don't need it. Homie's going to be ready to roll with you, man. He's going to be ready to roll. Okay? I don't know. I heard something interesting on Birds 365 today. They were talking about the ascending talents of Jalen Carter. So Carter, in your eyes, is going to get better. John McMullen's right. It's kind of like an EKG, people's careers. It's never like this. Now, here, Deion, Brady, Yeah, those guys. Yeah. Aaron Donald, them dudes. Okay? They continue to get better and better and better and better. And you're watching just greatness. Reggie White burst onto the scene, and he was just great I don't ever remember a football game where that guy wasn't great in. I don't know why Tyler Booker would do that. Prince, I would say this to you, bro, that he's probably trying to juice himself up in this ball game. And he's probably looking to give himself some type of mental edge in this game. Well, dude, this ain't college ball. These dudes are the real people, man. You get in there and you wake these guys up. Like you wake up Bruce Smith, or you wake up like Bruce Matthews or any of these other guys. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to wake up Derek Thomas. Gets to 8 sacks on you. Look at this guy here. Tyler Guyton blows. Tyler Smith, good. Cooper Beebe, who? Tyler Booker. Okay. Terrence Steele. How's the O-line trash? Well, let's see. Tyler Guyton's a turnstile. Tyler Booker is a rookie. And Terrence Steele? I don't know. Who's he? Who's up if Steen goes down? Woo! Oh, that's right. Trevor Keegan's now on the Cowboys. Oh, boy. Man, I cannot wait. By the way, let me do my Super Bowl one more time. I've got Bucs and Ravens in the Super Bowl. Those are my two. I can't go Jaden Daniels. Here's why. The team's 28.5% years of age. There are going to be injuries in that team. Is he good enough to be able to carry that deficiency? I can't pick the Rams. I would pick the Rams. I want to pick the Rams. But I can't because I'm not sure what Matthew Stafford looks like. And the only team that's had success against you has been the Bucs. Do you understand? In the last 3 years, the only team that's giving you a game. Am I wrong when I say that? The only team that's given you a game in the last 3 years in the NFC has been Tampa Bay. The Rams haven't. You ran them over. What'd you guys gain? 400 yards on them in 2 games last year? Right? The Packers? Are you sold that Jordan Love is going to carry that team to the NFC title game? Right? Terrence Steele. This guy's throwing Terrence Steele at me. Terrence Steele couldn't make the second team on the Eagles. Terrence Steele? Tyler Guyton. Oh, my God. All right. Oh, by the way, before I get Xander on here, remember how you guys were telling me yesterday about Bill Belichick getting killed? And I love how everybody's coming off the top rope on him getting killed by TCU. Deion Sanders is 13-13 at Colorado. What's he fucking doing? What's Deion doing? Everyone glazes over Deion at Colorado. North Carolina is a hoop school. That thing's not. You know what they are every year? They're a 7-6 football team. Did you really think Bill Belichick was going to have a Nick Saban 12-0 Alabama? You want to hear something crazy? Xander knows this. He may have been there for this. Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe his first year. The University of Louisiana Monroe, ULM. I had to look it up. It's the worst loss in his career. Okay? And he went on to win 6 titles at Bama. Give me a break. I mean, hang in there. All right. Whew. Man, tomorrow night. Oh, wait. We got to whisper this. Tomorrow night, the banner's falling. The banner's falling tomorrow night. Shh. Okay, banner. Okay, we're not allowed. And by the way, this is a rule for you Eagle fans. You're not allowed to look at the banner. My question would be to you guys, if that thing doesn't matter to the organization or anybody, why are you hanging the banner? Why don't you hang it in the off day? Why don't you hang it tonight? If it doesn't matter, why don't you fucking put it up tonight? Hang it on Saturday. It's too much, man. Shh. It's banner night for the defending champs. All that being said, we are here, folks. And I will tell you this, man. Woo-wee. Oh, Xander going, big sales, give me a break. Oh, man. Pre-game is tomorrow. Post-game. Hey, and by the way, I got nothing against John McMullen, man. John sees the game like this. I see the game like this. That's it. Just a different view. With all that being said, this is why you get different opinions like no other place but JAKIB. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who's the co-host of Birds 365, say it with me. Big Z joins us now. How you doing, Z?
What's up, Big Sills? Thanks for having me on, brother. How you doing on a Wednesday edition of the show today?
How you feeling, dude?
Dude, I'm feeling good. I'm really feeling good. I'm excited, one, to get football back. It's the best time of the year for those who are sports fans. Obviously, I think most of us are everybody here that's listening is certainly dominant a football fan. I said this a little bit ago. I forget what time of the year was. I think it was either the NBA and NHL playoffs or some earlier time in the MLB. But I said, other sports I'm excited to watch them. I enjoy them. Football gives me fucking goosebumps still, man. Like that game is over a day away, and I already feel the goosebumps coming in. I can guarantee you at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, when that game's about to kick off, I'll have shivers running down my spine. I love that about football because you only get so many of them a year. I think the fan base and the passion of the fan base has exceeded every other sports team in this great city, and there's a lot of passion for all the teams in this city. But the Eagles have just catapulted, man, to a new level, and I think you can really feel it. The energy in the air is palpable, Sileo.
Let me ask you this, man. I mean, going into this year, your expectations on this football team, especially with what happened with winning the Super Bowl 9 months ago, I mean, the level is so high. I mean, are you really? I mean, I think there's a shot for fans to be let down because, I mean, Xander, at the end of the day here, it's either Super Bowl or bust now in Philly.
Yeah, I mean,
so no matter what they do, they're not being realistic because to me, a good understanding about an organization, bro, you've been a great organization for 3 years, even with the shitty 23 season, and you've pointed this out. Bro, when we weren't doing very well, we won 11 ball games. I think the fans don't look at it I think they look at it more in a vacuum and not look at it for, like, you've been really good the last 8 years, right? I mean, you should be reveling in that. You've been to 3 Super Bowls in 8 years. You've won 2 of them. I mean, fuck, dude. The only other organization that has outdone you in the last 8 years has been the Patriots and the Chiefs. You're right there. And if you win another one, you're with the Chiefs. How come they don't celebrate that way?
Well, I think they have their organizational approach. I think when it comes to expectations, though, Sileo, I view this a little different than I think most do. And I'm all right with the way others view it. I mean, I know that it's, Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last, and that's what everybody wants. But, you got to view it through a lens of practicality as well, where if Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, didn't win every time. And my expectation for the team this year, while I do believe they have a really good chance to win the Super Bowl, is not a Super Bowl trophy. My expectation for the team is another dominating year that shows that they're in the conversation. Now, That could mean you lose in a tight nail-biter game in the NFC Championship game. You could lose a Super Bowl like we did in 22. I don't think any of those outcomes would be a letdown. Now, if you get to the playoffs and the Eagles don't look like they're one of the dominant teams that can make it to the Super Bowl, or they quietly squeak in, then I think you're probably looking at a letdown of expectations. I want the team to be one of the 5 best teams in football. I want when the playoffs start, everybody says, if that team keeps rolling, they're going to the Super Bowl. And look, if again, the ball can bounce many ways. There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of different things that go into winning. If we lose a close one in the NFC Championship game, or, we get close to the end and we don't complete it, I'm not going to view it as a negative season. Well, I obviously wish we went further. Absolutely. I think that's human nature, but I don't think we can view this team in the sense of they have to win or it's a failure, because you're setting the team up for a failure, immediately by doing that. You want to be in the conversation. You want to be in that room. You want to continue to be one of the best teams in football. And when the stars align, you want to have the players that take advantage of those opportunities that come. Not every team is built to do that. If the Eagles remain in that room, then I feel good about where they are now and where they're going in the future.
Okay. And agreed. And I think that's a great way to see this here. All right. Landon Dickerson, have you got the latest on what's and how he looks heading into this? Here's my problem with what I'm hearing so far. Well, he's good to go. What does that actually mean? Do I really want Landon Dickerson toughing it out in the first game of the year? Well, is that what we're doing here? We want him to tough it out?
Well, look, I think he's ready to go. I don't know what – I agree with you. It was a little suspect that he popped up on the injury report the other day with the back. I didn't really know what that meant. He was back to a full participant yesterday. I don't think they put out the injury report today for the walkthrough day yet. Maybe they have put it out. I have to go and double-check that. But I'm kind of defaulting here. Like, if the Eagles are putting him on the field, like, I'm pretty sure he's ready to go. I don't think they would have the approach. I mean, Sills, we talked about this yesterday where you're like, yo, what's up with the multiple positions on defense where they're, they still have different guys battling, or they're going to have like a rotational position. And I'm like, that's because they're treating the first couple games like preseason almost. They're still learning about their team. They're not looking to be the finished product in week 1. Why would that mentality not apply to Landon Dickerson? You know what I mean? I don't think if he wasn't
you're
ready
looking
to
at
go,
it with the glass half full that he's good to go. You're not looking at it like,
I'm more looking at it from a sense of if he wasn't ready to go, the Eagles have done nothing to show me that they would play that player in week 1 if there was any risk of playing him. So I'm taking their word for it. Again, it's not something I love to do. I am naturally a person that questions the narrative. That is just the kind of guy I am and always have been. But I do trust them, because I think when you look at all the moves that they've made, some of them to the point where they've been criticized for it, everything has been for player safety. And we're getting to week 1, Sills, September 4th tomorrow. And the whole goal of offseason and training camp, more than prep, more than game planning, more than, chemistry, has been be healthy. And they're getting there, and they're healthy tomorrow with the exception of Tanner McKay with the thumb. So I think that it was a successful offseason from that regard. And if Landon's out there, I'm assuming he's 100%.
How are you sold on the pressure that you're going to need in this game against Dak Prescott on Thursday night? Because I think you're going to, if you don't get pressure with some of the holes you have in your secondary, and you don't get that quarterback on his back, or at least moving him around in that pocket, one thing Dak can do, dude, the better quarterback in the game on spinning the ball is the guy in Dallas. Jalen has more tools. He can run, he can throw, he has all that. But the one thing Dak does in this game is he throws the ball better than any quarterback in this game. So my question would be, if you don't get pressure, and Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith don't get pressure on him, I don't care who you are, dude. They're going to find, these pro guys are going to find opening holes. Who are you more concerned about, the safeties position, or are you more concerned about the corner position in this game against Dallas?
Well, I think the Cowboys are more positioned to take advantage of the corner because of the receivers they have, and they do have two great receivers. And then the other thing that they've added in, or at least are trying to add in, and we had John Machado on Birds 365, who covers the Cowboys for The Athletic, did a great job, and was great on our show, gave us some behind enemy lines insight. And he's like, one of the things that Brian Schottenheimer's been talking about doing was getting Kevontae Turpin more involved in the offense, not just the return game. They want to make his speed a weapon. So if you just hear me out for a second, now this could be on the safeties too, but if you're smart enough to not put CD in the slot and assume that the Eagles aren't going to take Cooper out of the slot, all right, you can put CD on one side, you can put George Pickens on the other side, and you can put Turpin in the slot. Now, that's going to distract Cooper DeJean because he's going to have his hands full with a player that fast. You could potentially even spread the field with him. If Quinyon Mitchell's on CD Lamb, I don't think they'd go to CD. That's a good matchup, and I'll take the Eagle. I'm happy with that. Well, now you got George Pickens picking on Adoree Jackson with really not much room for help. Because think about it, your safeties are probably going to have to give Cooper DeJean help over the top of the guy like Kevontae Turpin. So what safety are you going to shade to the side to help Adoree Jackson? Probably Reed Blankenship or
you're talking about clear out routes.
What's that?
You're talking clear out routes. You're talking about a guy with great speed like a Xavier Worthy or this kid Turpin that takes it up the field, and you're running underneath routes.
Well, I just think these are good players
because that zone. Remember Xander too. That's where I go back to you about that linebacker drops. If you're taking a guy in the speed and you're using instead of on the numbers, you usually use speed guys on the numbers, not in the slot. And you're saying if you're going to put that dude in the slot and run him up the field, you're right. Cooper's got to get depth and he's got to get deep, and the too high has to get deep. Those are a lot of underneath routes, and you're going to be seeing more in that zone of underneath. And that means this is Q traveling then? Because that means you're going to put CD out there more, and that means Pickens is on the weapon.
That's what I mean. I think the Cow. I mean, I'm sure they're looking at it the same way. But I mean, if they put CD in the slot, it makes your life easier, because now you're looking at Cooper's got CD in the slot, Quinyon's got Pickens on the outside, and you're probably looking at Adoree Jackson with help from Reed Blankenship to manage whoever they line up on the other side. Texas Boy in the chat, who are they lining up as the slot receiver tomorrow, do you think? Texas Boy. Let me know in the chat who you think the Cowboys are going to line up in the slot tomorrow, if it's not CeeDee Lamb. Or if that's not the right question.
I think it's a combination of all. I think it's a combination.
Right. Who's the third receiver for the Cowboys? Because I do think the way the Eagles play, the Cowboys could try and put themselves in a position to take advantage of it. Now, doesn't mean they're going to, but that's the one clear spot where the Eagles could potentially get exposed, is the corner spot. And if they're not able to mask Adoree Jackson, I mean, think about it. Let's just assume Quinyon Mitchell follows CeeDee Lamb everywhere, which I don't think is going to happen. Let's just assume that he does, though. All right. Who's going to cover deep? George Pickens or Kevontae Turpin? Forget which one. Who's going to cover them? Is Adoree Jackson built to cover them deep?
Absolutely not.
I mean, they do have the advantage there.
They have the advantage in speed.
Well, and Dak is a good thrower.
And experience.
Dak's a good thrower of the football, Sills. I mean, I know Eagles fans love the shit on Dak, but Dak's had no problem dicing and slicing this division for a long time. I think he's 33-8 versus division.
Which is
insane. And somebody brought up a great argument. I think it was John, actually. He was like, Eagles fans love to tell me that Jalen Hurts is a winner, and that's fine. But, all right, Dak Prescott's a winner in the East, too. Can't you take that same principle and apply it to what Dak's done?
Of course you can.
So he's going to – with –
Eagle fans indict Dak for the postseason, but they forget the fact during the regular season, he's dynamic. Okay, and I give him that. You're right. Postseason, that's for 6 months from now. But right now, tomorrow night, has everything to do with that number that you just said about him owning the NFC East and playing well in the regular season. Actually, the postseason has nothing to do with tomorrow night.
No, it doesn't.
Nothing.
That's true.
So, all those comments about him folding in the postseason has no relevance to tomorrow night.
Injury report just dropped, brother.
Let's hear it.
It's good for the Eagles front. Basically same as yesterday. Tanner McKay did not practice. He's out for the game, so they officially ruled him out. And then Carter, Dickerson, Makuba, and Uche, all full participants with no game designation. So basically means they're all going to play tomorrow. And then the other news that we weren't sure of and that Machota wasn't sure of either. Thank you. I knew it's Tolbert. That's the name I was forgetting. Tolbert, Jalen Tolbert. The other news is that it looks like Tyler Guyton's going to play as well. Now, I don't think Tyler Guyton's all that good, to be honest with you, but he's better than the backup. So that's something of note as well, that he's going to play. Trayvon Diggs is going to play. So Cowboys relatively healthy too. Remember, the interesting thing with Guyton is he had that injury scare that we thought his ACL got torn, and then they kind of rescinded the report almost.
I was shocked he wasn't ended for the year like the kid in Los Angeles. Hey, 500. That is no relevance for tomorrow night. I mean, it really doesn't. The postseason stuff on Dak has no bearing tomorrow night. I mean, if you look at what he's done during the regular season, the conversation is about tomorrow, not postseason. There's nothing postseason related tomorrow.
Look at Joe. I love
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, one thing, Dak's 33-8, Joho. You're glazing the Cowboys. I'm not glazing the shitty Cowboys, Joho. Shut up, Joho. Take your emotional ass out of here.
Everybody thinks
I'm having a real football discussion about what's going to take place on the field tomorrow. Joho, sit back, kick your feet up, and enjoy the show. Come on, Joho.
Hey, I gotta throw something at you, and you tell me if you think this is fucking nuts. Every time I hear you and John talk about this, it drives me nuts. So to me, when you have do you believe that you have a football team that dictates what it wants to do versus teams? Do you believe that the Eagles go into a football game like tomorrow night, they can do what they want to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, I do too.
Yeah.
Well, then I hear you and John. I don't know so much you, but I hear this. Well, the game's going to dictate how many passes and how many runs. Fuck that. I'm going to get the ball, run it down your face. I'm dictating tempo. I'm telling you who the boss is. I'm running the ball. I'm not waiting to see what you want to do. I have the attitude. I have the Lombardi trophy. I'm the guy that's going to be talking shit to you. I'm the person. You really think that I'm going to dictate by what Dallas does? Bro, Dallas doesn't frighten me at all. I'm going to fucking run the ball right down your face and punch you in the mouth. That'd be like me getting into a fight with a guy he's a jabber, and I'm a knockout guy. Why would I do that? Why would I get into a fight with a guy? I'm a knockout guy, bro. I'm not going to sit there I'm like George Foreman. You know what that is?
You're not.
I'm not looking. Oh, well, tell you what, Junior. Back in the day, Big Sil's breaking case of glass. I'm retired now. I'm a pacifist now. But I like George Foreman's attitude. You know what it is? I'm not looking to win rounds. I'm looking to win the fight.
Well, it's a good way to put it.
George Foreman wasn't looking to win rounds. He said it on this program before he passed away.
Yeah,
he goes like
that's
this.
Right. We had him right before he passed. That was cool, man. Rest in peace to George Foreman.
He goes like this. Look, I don't want to win rounds. I'm gonna win the fight. So I don't like that mentality, dude.
Can't say shit on this. Can't be objective for even a second without.
No way. Not around these guys. Not around these guys. All right,
Prince. Hey. I love you, Prince.
I actually do too. I give him a lot of shit. He gives me a lot of shit.
Hey, you were a little angry at the listeners today.
Not angry.
Hey, you seemed a little angry.
Honest.
All right. Well, my honest assessment of it is that you were a little angry.
Okay. Yeah, because when I tell you something that's going to happen in this ball game, it's going to happen.
You're not telling me shit, guy. Until you start to get the couple things right, you're not telling me.
I did already. Shit. I told your boy Keely Ringo would never win that job.
Oh, good one. I think a blind squirrel could have got that
really?
One right.
Well, we're going to find out how many of these replacements.
I've been questioning Keely Bingo.
So far, we're going into this game tomorrow with Big Sills looking awful good that you haven't replaced these guys. You know why? You got multiple co-starters heading into this game. And I said you wouldn't replace any of those guys. And you got all co-starters at every position I said. Who's co? Hit the safety. Who's co? The corner. Who's co? The linebacker. I am
Dirty
looking.
Air says somebody pissed in your Cooper Crunch this morning. I think what he needs is actually a bowl of Cooper Crunch. That might save big sales. It's like
I don't
what
need
that
to be
Snickers
saved.
commercial. You're not you and you don't have a
I don't
Snickers
need to be
bar or
saved.
something.
I don't
That's
need
what
to be
Sills
saved.
needs. He needs some
I,
Cooper's Crunch.
I got it going on here,
Yeah,
man.
these listeners, they almost got me to spend $250 today on
a
cereal
bowl.
and a cereal bowl. They almost got me to pull the trigger, and my Apple Pay didn't work.
Hey.
When the show ended, I quickly exited out of that tab. I said, "Let me get out of this thing."
I mean, but Sanders like, I got $250 on a bowl and 18 boxes of Crunch.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out on that, man. I love you, Coop, but
You think it's a blow tomorrow night?
no, I don't think it's a blowout. I mean, I think the team is. I mean, look, the Eagles are. The week one is. It could be a blowout, but I think it's less likely because the Eagles aren't their best form yet. I mean, look, you said it perfectly to open your show today. You said September is a month of lies. It is. If you judge the Eagles season off of September last year, you just said they would have barely made the playoffs. They would have stunk. You know, the defense would have been one of the worst in the league. Jalen Hurts would have been a turnover machine all season. Saquon Barkley had the drop in the Falcons game in the Falcons game. I mean, September, there's a lot of it. I've been saying this for weeks. The biggest advantage the Cowboys have in the game tomorrow is that it's week one, is that it's early in the football season. The ball bounces funny ways. You don't know yet who's going to have chemistry, who's going to have rust, who's going to have to work their way into the season. Remember, we won week one last year with 3 turnovers. It was a sloppy football game, so that's what I think is the number one thing that the Cowboys have to their advantage in this game. But overall, I do think we're in a good spot. I mean, I don't think a blowout, but I could see like a 10-point W. I think a 10-point W is likely.
I still got 31-20. I'm there right now.
You gave out your score a little earlier for this game.
I'm not.
I think that's kind of right in my ballpark too. Honestly, I'm pretty close to you now in my head.
Yeah, I'm for my pregame stuff and my stuff tomorrow. I don't think I'm deviate off that. I think I'm right there with that. I think it could be close early. You know what I mean by close too, Xander? Like 21-7. That's close for Dallas. And then all of a sudden they pull away and Dallas scores some points late. I just don't see where they're going to generate. Now, I'll tell you what, if the Eagles don't get the pass rush going, they're going to score points, Dallas.
Oh, no doubt.
If they do not get a pass rush tomorrow night, okay, they're going to move the ball. Okay? I mean, they're going to. All right. So here's my Super Bowl finally here on the eve of going into the season. And here's why I picked it. I've got the Ravens. And I'm going here. Do you trust the Rams and Stafford?
I'm a little concerned about that back with Stafford, but I do think they have the best team in the West.
I do too. And
John's been bringing this up though, and he's right. The 49ers schedule is so damn easy. Like they might have a bounce back year. Remember, they had a lot of injuries last year.
Been saying it all offseason.
Yeah, so they could have a bounce. I don't think they're good enough.
They're not better than the Rams, but they're going to win more games than the Rams.
Yeah, well, that could be interesting.
Because they got the worst schedule in the league.
That could be interesting. That could be interesting. So we'll see. I still like the Rams over there in that division, though, honestly. I just feel like I think the Rams are one of the best teams in the NFC this year. I do. I think they're going to have a chance to be one of the best teams in the NFC.
With Stafford, right?
Yeah, but if that back is okay, that guy can play.
Dude,
man, we all saw what he did to us in the snow last year.
I know, man. Green Bay, here's where I am with them. Look, I mean, Parsons, does he really swing the needle to get them into the NFC Championship?
John apparently does. He picked them to win the North. He's got them as the biggest contender for the Eagles in the NFC. I mean, holy shit. John's acting like Michael Parsons has catapulted Green Bay to the top of the top of the top.
I'm not there then. I'm not there with that.
Jordan Love is too streaky for me.
Too streaky.
1 year he shows up, he dominates the Cowboys in the playoffs. It was a beautiful thing to watch. The next year he comes back, it looks like he can't throw the football. I don't know what to make of the guy. I don't know what to make of him. He was shit last year versus us in the playoffs too. I think they had 10 points in that game.
What do you make of the Lions?
I think they're really good. I think they lost some really good offensive linemen, and they lost 2 really good coordinators. So what does that do to a football
Both head
team?
coaches now.
Yeah. What does that do to a football team? And Philly wasn't great for us in 23 when that happened. So, I think that could be a factor. I think Dan Campbell is more positioned to handle it than Sirianni was at the time. And I think they play a little bit of a different brand of football. And my concern with them is, while I don't think Ben Johnson leaving is a big deal, but what does that mean for Jared Goff? Because Jared Goff is not an improvising quarterback. Jared Goff is tell me where to put the ball, and I will put it there perfectly, accurately, on time, and on target. Ben Johnson created the perfect route concepts for Jared Goff to be able to thrive in that type of environment.
Great rhythm.
Not right. He was a rhythm thrower all year, and he really is a good player in that setup. So if you take that away,
I know,
and that offensive coordinator over there isn't able to scheme guys open as easily or as successfully or as consistently as Ben Johnson did, I think you're going to have some problems there with that offense. Now, here's the thing. While I think that could be a problem, they got Jahmyr Gibbs. They got who's
Davenport.
the other back? Who's the other back?
Is it Davenport?
No. The other back I'm blanking on. Shoot, what the fuck?
Montgomery.
David Montgomery. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They just traded Tim Patrick, which I thought was kind of stupid. They got Jamison Williams. They got Sam Laporte of the time. Like, they got a lot of weapons. It's hard for me to think that they're going to stink. But do I think they could not win the North? I do think that maybe is possible. Remember, that's a division last year that had a 15-win team, a 14-win team, and a 12-win team. That's pretty unheard of. I mean, that's a lot of good teams.
And you got a team in the Bears that's gotten better.
Well, right. So they were like 5 for whatever they won last year. Now think about this. Ready? The 12-win team added Matthew Golden and Micah Parsons. Okay. What does that make them? A 14-win team, maybe?
Right.
The 15-win team lost some coordinators in the center. Where do they fall to? How far is that fall?
They might cannibalize one another, though, a little bit.
And the Vikings got better, but the quarterback The quarterback uncertainty is bigger than ever. So that's a very interesting division. I mean, that's gonna be almost fun to see how that plays out. I happen to like the Lions still because I am a Jared Goff guy. I think he's a good player. I think he's an underrated player. I respect the way he plays the game. Not the perfect quarterback, not going to make it happen, but when things are right around him, he can really thread the needle, and I appreciate that about a quarterback, an accurate quarterback. So I like them still because I don't trust Jordan Love, and I don't trust J.J. McCarthy. And that's it. That's the bottom line of why I'm picking the Lions to win that division. I just trust the quarterback more than I trust the other two.
I want to do this with you then. And I'll give you my Super Bowl at the end here. Let me go over to the AFC with you. You got
some bold predictions, by the way, for the year.
How about this one here? I need a piece of paper. Hang on. AFC East. AFC East.
Who do you got there? Patriots? Who's in the East?
Is Dolphins, Patriots, Bills, and Jets.
Yeah, that's easy. That's the easiest division maybe in football.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. That Patriots team, I think, is going to shock some people.
Well, I've been saying Drake May's ahead of schedule since last year. Drake May looks good.
I'll get back to the wild cards in there, but they're in my hunt for a wild card.
I think you're 1 year out on that yet, but I don't hate that opinion.
AFC North, Baltimore, Steelers, Bengals, Browns. Who you got in that one?
Baltimore. I think Bengals bounce back, get closer to the playoffs this year. I think they're a wild card team this year. Steelers that's a good division. I mean, the Steelers have a sneaky chance to be good, but it all depends on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is either going to play pretty good or he's going to legitimately solidify himself as washed. Yeah. That's it. So that's what's going to happen there in Pittsburgh. If he's okay, though, I mean, shoot, they could be a solid squad. They got some good players over there. Now, I don't like the receiving core. They got rid of Pickens, added Metcalf. After Metcalf, I don't even know. Can you even name the second receiver there?
No.
So if I had Aaron Rodgers at 40 or 41 or whatever he is, 42, I probably would have went for another receiver if I were them, but they didn't. So I think that could bite them. That's really it.
I'll tell you this in that North. After watching the Browns scrimmage and play against the Eagles, they got talent there somewhere, man. I mean, They just don't have the quarterback position figured out. Their old line is not awful, man. It's a good group of guys that they have. And all I heard from the Eagle guys was, man, they got a lot of talent over there, especially on the defensive side of the football.
Mm-hmm.
If Flacco can find the fountain of youth, you're going to make that division. Like, I'm not telling you they're a playoff team, but I'm telling you they could win a game against one of
them. They can make games hard.
Right.
You know who else I think
you're going to make that division. You're going to make that division interesting, even with the worst team in that division.
Yeah. Now, you know who else I think can make games hard this year? Now, this is on the NFC side, so we'll stay on the AFC for a bit, but just to throw it out there, I think another team that people are discrediting, which rightfully so, they're not ready to compete, but I think a team that could make games hard this year is the New York Football Giants. That defensive line is really good, and when you have a defensive line that can get pressure, you're going to make life hard on offense. It's just the way football is played, right? I mean, if you can get pressure up front, you're going to throw the best of the best of the best quarterbacks off their game. Look at Tom Brady. The only way the Giants beat them in those 2 Super Bowls was because they got the pressure on the defensive line. It wasn't because Eli Manning had these crazy great games. Now, Eli deserves a lot of credit, but that's the kryptonite. So that team, I think, is a sleeper just from a sense of they can steal some games. They're not a playoff team. They're not ready for that, but they could steal some games.
They're going to make life harder. You know what I think is going to make life harder for you too? Keep an eye on Carolina.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think Carolina's going to make some teams.
Yeah, they got some good talent.
Not ready to compete yet, but I think they're going to make some lives difficult. How about the AFC South? Tennessee, Houston, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville. With Jacksonville being, again, if you look at their roster, now I got a first-time head coach in Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator from the Buccaneers. But, I mean, bro, the receiver, that Thomas kid, NTN, Trevor, I mean, they improved the offensive line. Plus, they got Travis Hunter. I don't know, man. I mean,
yeah, they got talent. They got talent.
There's talent there.
They should have talent. They've been picking top 5 for the last 20 fucking years.
Absolutely.
I mean, shit. But, you're right. That division, I have Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and then whoever I'm leaving out.
Texans, Titans.
Titans, right? So I have Texans first in that division.
That's the South.
Yeah, South. Okay. I got the Texans winning that.
Okay, in the AFC West, I think this is going to be more competitive than what.
Anthony has a big year for Cam Ward. If you got them going second, I do think Cam Ward's going to be better than people think.
Yeah, I just don't know who their skilled people are.
Not many.
They don't really have a lot of skilled people. I think this is going to be one of the more improved divisions in football. You got Broncos, Chargers. I think the Raiders. By the way, this Genty kid now looks like he could be a first-round pick that the Raiders have picked. Bowers was a grand slam a year ago. This Genty kid looks like he might be a grand slam. And you got the Chiefs. I'm going to tell you here, Xander, this division I think is going to get better. What does Geno Smith, and I think because they got Geno Smith in there for Pete Carroll, because he feels comfortable that he knows how to win ball games for him. I think the Raiders are going to be a sneaky team to make teams have to really play hard. I don't believe they're a contender. But, boy, I'll tell you what, Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs, that's going to be a fight for the West, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of people picking the Chargers this year. John picked the Chargers this morning in the West there. I still like the Chiefs, but I do think the Broncos are probably the closest in my eyes. I think that's a nasty good defense. Bo Nix was much better than I expected him to be in his rookie year. And Sean Payton has kind of righted the ship a little bit over there. So he's done a good job. Not my favorite coach, but you got to give him credit. When it comes to the Raiders, I love everything that they've done in the last couple years, except for one thing.
Quarterback.
I don't love what they did with Geno Smith.
I know. I
didn't love that move for them. I like Geno. I was a fan of Geno.
I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers there.
Yeah, me too. So I didn't love that move. I do think Geno is a little bit of an underrated quarterback. He's the kind of guy that can win you some games, can move the ball downfield, and can sneaky make plays. I just think I don't think he's going to be good enough. I don't think he's going to be the right fit there in Vegas. But you're right. They do have some good skill position guys. There's no doubt. And then the Chargers, I mean, look, they're coming. They got Harbaugh. They got Herbert. You heard Joe Montana talk about Herbert the other day on the show. Called him, one of his top 3 quarterbacks. So if Joe Montana says you're good, I think you're good. Yeah. It's like one of those things. But We know what Herbert is, and everybody's going to hold the 4 picks, as I will. I don't throw 4 picks in the playoffs if you don't want to get shit on for it, guy. So, but they're a sleeper. They could be good. They could be good. I'm sorry though. I'm still going Chiefs there, man. You're telling me
I'm going Chargers.
All right, yeah, John went Chargers too.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers there.
Well, this is my problem with it.
I love the coach. I love Jim Harbaugh,
I'm
man.
not betting against Andy and Pat Mahomes yet, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
No shade on that. I get it. I mean, it's to bet against those guys. What is it? 9 straight years they've been in the AFC Championship game.
Yep, 9 straight.
I mean, right?
Broncos are a good one in that division, though. Dirty Air. I do like them. I do like Broncos.
Here's my wild card teams: Chiefs, Bengals, and I'm going to go on the limb. I'm going to keep this sheet here too. Patriots.
Wow. Chiefs, Bengals.
There's your 7.
Yeah, see, so I'm going to go Chiefs in, and then I'm going to go either the Chargers or the Broncos as a wild card. I actually think there's an opportunity for both of those teams to be wild card teams. If
so they get 3 in.
Well, that would be obviously a tough feat, but I do think it's possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
NFC North did it last year.
Yeah, right. NFC North did exactly. Perfect example. So it doesn't happen often, but I'm not going to go there yet with you with the Patriots. Now, I do like your confidence, though. I mean, Drake May, Mike Vrabel kind of has brought a culture back to that locker room. Drake May looked way better than people are giving him credit for last year. He did. He looked pretty good, man. So Drake May, I think, can play. He just needs to have a better setup around him. I'm not really sold yet that they've put the pieces around him necessary just yet. I think they've improved some things, but who'd they add? Stephon Diggs? I don't.
Who'd they add in the draft? I mean, I know they got Milton Williams. They added him. By the way, they're very excited.
I like that move for them.
They're very excited about him. They think he really had a absolutely great camp. I agree with you on the Chiefs too. I get it. Hard to go against Andy and all, but who'd they take in the draft? The Patriots. I forget. Did they take an old lineman? They did. They took an old lineman. That's who they took. I forget.
Yeah, tackle from LSU. That kid.
Yeah, the LSU kid. That's right. All right. So let's go over to the NFC.
Love that kid, by the way.
Yeah, it's great.
Love that kid. That's a guy I'd want with my young quarterback too.
Okay.
Cam, what'd you say? Go to the Supers?
No. Let's do the NFC here.
All right, I thought that's what you said.
All right. So obviously you're going Eagles, right, in the NFC East.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that too. I mean, John called me a homer for picking the Eagles this morning. I don't think I'm being a homer. I'm looking at it objectively. I really do think the Eagles
are close.
Yeah, I think they're still the best team in the East, man. I do. I think they're still the best team in the East. I think they're a team that's positioned to continue their success. They got a good offensive line still. They still have brought back a lot of good players in the defensive line while there is some question marks there. I think they're going to be built to beat most of the other teams in the East in the trenches, with the exception maybe of that Giants team. But again, we got a great offensive line, so we're the one team that can handle that Giants D-line. Like the Cowboys offensive line, they're going to get beat up by that Giants D-line. You know, even the Commanders O-line, I don't love what they did on the offensive line. So I think the Eagles are still the team to beat in the East, and I don't think that's homerish either.
I don't either. I mean, I think –
who are you picking to win the East? You going Commanders?
I'm going Commanders. I am. I'm going Commanders because of the young quarterback. However –
all year long, aren't I?
However, I'm going to – like I said, I think this is things – I mean, dude, I think it's going to be coin toss stuff. What I don't like about the schedules, Andrew, is that why is Washington so far back on the fucking back end where you're playing those two? Aren't the Eagles playing like the last 3 games? There's 2 of them against the Commanders, right? It goes 16. Commanders, then it goes Bills or something like that.
Commanders, Bills, Commanders to end the year.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why would you schedule something like that? It just doesn't make sense.
Eagles got a tough schedule, man. Got a tough schedule. It's going to be fun.
They do have a tough schedule here.
It's going to be fun.
This North is going to be the Bears – undefeated also in the preseason. That doesn't really tell me a lot, except for one thing. I did watch them a bunch. They look way improved, man. They just look improved. Plus the Packers improved. Minnesota, like you said, they improved, but kind of, because, you know, with all the moves they made, you still do. Okay, well, you still have a rookie quarterback. I don't give a shit that he's on the team a year now, even though he had to have like a redshirt year because he blew his knee out. And then you have the Lions with the most talented team in that division. Boy, who do you got in this one, man? The North.
Got Lions. Got Lions again. I got Lions, Packers. The Bears are a sleeper. I like the Bears this year, but I don't like them good enough yet. I don't like them good enough yet to put them over the Vikings. So I'm gonna go Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears there.
I'm still gonna hang with you and go Lions.
Okay.
I just think there are too many good players on that team. Plus, Golf has done. I mean, look, if Golf can't handle having another coordinator like Jalen can handle, then the conversation about Jared Goff is, well, dude, then he has to have like everything. Jalen does, for all the things people say about Hurts having everything perfect around him, he doesn't. He doesn't have the play caller. The play caller has never been perfect around him. You know why? He's never had continuity.
No, he hasn't.
He's never had continuity in his entire career in Philly. So it's not been perfect, right? I mean, you know what perfect is, Sander? Perfect is KC, where you have the same dude in your ear for 9 years. That's perfect. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not had it perfect here.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't had it at all.
So, all right, the South. I got the Bucs here. I don't really think that's a debate. Now, I do think Carolina. Keep an eye on Atlanta, dude.
No, no. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying Michael Penix even for 1 second.
They beat the Bucs twice last year.
I'm not buying Michael Penix. I'm sorry, I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. I can't buy Michael Penix. So I'm out on them.
Rams, Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Rams. Got to go Rams.
I got 49ers here.
You're going Niners? You and John are similar. You and John have had some very similar division picks.
The reason I'm going Niners is because of who they're playing. I think the Rams are better, though. Like, the Rams are going to have a lesser record, in my opinion, because of the schedule they're playing. They're playing the fourth worst schedule, bro. Okay, I mean, I don't – they're not playing anybody really tough. Now, I'll tell you this. What does Sam Darnold bring to the Seahawks? If he brings that type of year he had in Minnesota to Seattle with that defense, Sander, Seattle's going to be a sleeper team to go a long way.
Who's the offensive coordinator over there?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
Clint Kubiak.
Oh, wow. Huh.
It's actually a good fit.
I'm telling you, if you got 4,500 passing yards in Seattle, Seattle's going to go to the divisional game. Bro, they got a great defense. They can play, man. Just because they're out there in the Pacific Northwest, people don't really keep an eyeball on them. So here's my playoff.
Yeah, well, they're in the left coast. They're in the shitty coast where you are.
I got – hey, so here's my wild card teams.
People on the East Coast don't pay attention to that shitty coast over there.
What's that?
I don't know why you live over there. When are you moving back to the East Coast? Let's go. I'm going to shit on Philly 500 too. Even Mark Holmes lives over here on the East Coast. Philly 500 and Sileo. It's like, what are you guys doing?
I don't know. Really. I poke my eyes out every day.
Don't you miss your people?
Yes.
You have a bunch of buttercups over there.
Oh, my God.
I like buttercups.
Who's your three?
I like a dude who's going to honk at me in traffic if I cut him off.
Tell you to go fuck yourself.
Oh, asshole.
Hey, you're like a guy to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Flip me the double bird. I'm good with that. I'd rather have that. What'd you say?
Who are your three teams coming out in the wild card?
For the NFC?
Yeah.
Well, I got the Eagles. You got the Lions. You got the Bucs, and you got who am I missing on the fourth division winner? Eagles, Lions, Bucs. Oh, and Rams. And then I got 49ers, Commanders, and Packers.
Yeah. Here's mine. Division winners, I got Commanders, Lions, Bucs, 49ers.
Wait, did you pick the Lions too?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got my three teams are Eagles, Packers, Rams. I'll tell you what, dude. The run for the NFC Championship this year, listen to this. Rams, Packers, Eagles, Niners, Bucs, Lions, Commanders. That sounds right to me. Those, I think, are the 7 best teams in the NFC right there, or at least the 7 best rosters. And you could flip any one of these around, and it's all going to come down to injury. I think in the AFC, I think it's going to be more dictated still by the quarterbacks. But those rosters over in the NFC, bro, that's more roster driven. The Rams are a roster driven team. The Packers are roster driven. The Eagles, the Niners, the Bucs, the Lions.
And to be honest with you, Sills, I think the narrative that all the best quarterbacks in the AFC is dying. Now, don't get me wrong. There's still really good quarterbacks in the AFC. But what I think has happened is the flashier quarterbacks are in the AFC. Like, Hear me out. Ready? I know Jalen Hurts isn't your favorite style of quarterback, but the success can't be denied.
Nope.
Matthew Stafford is what he is and could potentially be in the Hall of Fame one day. Baker Mayfield threw for fucking 4,500 yards last year and 41 touchdowns.
I know.
41. I'll repeat that. 41 touchdowns. Do you understand how many touchdown throws that is? That is a lot of touchdown throws.
And those receivers were
he's not
out.
The flashy guy. He's not Herbert or Mahomes or Burrow or Allen. I get that. But he's a really good quarterback. Jared Goff, another guy who, in the right system, thrives and throws the ball very well, very accurate quarterback. Like, I don't really think that Jaden Daniels, another guy who's emerged in the top 10. Brock Purdy, I don't really think is up in that top 10 range, but a competent quarterback. I mean, I think there's better quarterbacks in the NFC than people think. The flashier ones are in the AFC for sure, but I think there's a good stable of quarterbacks in the NFC. And with those rosters that you rightfully have said are built better in the NFC.
They're better teams.
Yeah, and I think, the best teams win football, not the best quarterbacks. It's just how it goes, or else Joe Burrow would be the champion every year. I mean, who are we kidding? Man, nobody throws the ball better than that guy right now in football. Nobody.
No. Look, Bills. I got Bills, Lamar, CJ, Herbert. I got Drake May, and I've got, what's his name, Mahomes, and I've also got Burrow. Those are the quarterbacks in my AFC. The Patriots are a reach for me. But I don't know. I think they've done a lot, and I love Mike Vrabel. I'm a huge Mike Vrabel fan. Let's get to Supers before we get to the Battle Royale, which should be absolutely fabulous because it's the eve of the game tomorrow night. I can't wait to hear. And by the way, Mark Holmes, this will be the first time we get a chance to hear him and his comments on Michael Parsons being traded.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what Mark has to say about it. Remember last week we had him on, and him, Philly 500. I don't know if he's listening still, but he was like Nostradamus last week. He's like, Mark, I feel like they're going to trade Micah.
He was
and
right.
Mark's like, nah, they're not going to trade Micah. And Philly's like, I think they might trade Micah, Mark. And then boom, the next day, boom, Micah Parsons shipped to Green Bay.
He was right.
Like, who does Philly 500 know out there on the West Coast?
That's right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. I can't wait to hear what Mark has to say. My take to Mark would be though, kind of the take that you've had on edge rushers, because you've almost walked me. I'm not saying they didn't get rid of a great player. They obviously got rid of a great player, but you can survive in this league without a great edge. You got a better interior. You still have half decent edge rushers. They're not great. You don't have a big splash guy like you did with Micah, but I don't think they made their team that much worse. They lost a really good player. I don't think their team
didn't replace him with a really good player.
Well, I don't know if they're.
Look, I think Clark's good, man, but I don't think he's
good. But he's good, but he's not Michael level. But he does improve the interior. He improves the interior. So I don't think Mark has to be as concerned about it as he was.
Look at the last two teams in the Super Bowl. Name me one premium edge rusher that was in the last.
You've been hammering that point for a couple weeks now.
Look, that kid. What is his name? Carl Aftis. He's good, but is he sensational? He's not a sensational ball player, is he? I think he's okay, not great. I mean, Kansas City's not gotten anywhere with a sensational edge rusher. They've been to 5 Super Bowls, right? I don't know. I mean, I think that position's over. I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
Let's get to some of the supers, bro.
Well, you might be right. Look at the Eagles. They agree with you, it appears.
I think Howie's bought into that.
Yeah. Kimberly checks in. Nick says 62 college starts. Reps matter for my hobby. Yeah, no, it's true.
62 college. I think
like the dude played 8 years. For fuck's sake.
I'll tell you what, though. I think that helped Purdy out with those 38 starts that he had at Iowa State.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it makes you more prepared having all those.
Well, I think it's. And And then Sills, on the inverse of that, you take a guy with all this talent who plays 10 games in college, Anthony Richardson, or 12 games, and the guy can't, the guy can barely breathe.
Or Trey Lance.
Right. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, it's one of the things that I think is lost in the NFL today, and it's because of an impatient society. I mean, think about it. Every time a quarterback gets drafted, and I even think they're making the mistake with Cam Ward, and I like Cam Ward a lot. I think he's going to be good. I think he's actually one that will be able to handle it. And you're seeing instances, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, a lot of these guys are ready. But, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Brett Veach traded up to the 10th pick to draft Patrick Mahomes, and they put him on the bench for a year. In a world where every quarterback is being put in an easy bake oven and saying, if you don't come out perfect, you're going to be moved on from, I don't think that's the best recipe. So, Kimberly, to your point, these college reps, they go further than people think, man. Those are significant reps. Now, it's a different level. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to compete at the NFL. There's plenty of college guys that have 62 starts that aren't going to play in the NFL. But for the guys who are NFL capable, it will help them no matter what. I agree. Houston becomes a member. Thank you, Houston. Appreciate you becoming a member. By the way, all of our members, we launched the 2 giveaways. So Jalen Hurts, 275 all-purpose yards. We do a jersey giveaway on the channel. Or the defense gives up 20 or less points. We give away a jersey. If both get activated, we're giving away multiple jerseys. And I got a feeling that I'm giving away 2 after the game tomorrow. I think we give up less than 20, and I think Jalen Hurts has 300. Rocksteady says, all right, we got that. So we got them all.
All right. Here's one thing before I get these 2 guys on for the Battle Royale before Thursday's game.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Cowboys getting rid of Parsons. I don't like what they got because you're not getting any advantage. You're not getting any advantage on those picks until April of 26 and April of 27. So basically what you did was you traded straight up for Clark and Parsons. That's
only for 25. I mean, but I think that's the problem with what Jerry did is that he waved the white flag for this season, right? I mean, you don't – now, granted, we've talked about this. The next 2 drafts coming up are –
sensational. This draft coming up in April is probably the best draft.
There's some good drafts coming up. So the Cowboys got 4 picks in the first round of the next 2 drafts. That's not a bad thing. But I think they could have got a 3rd first-round pick. I do. I really do.
Here's one more time on this draft, on this edge stuff, though. I showed everybody, and maybe to Mark's point here, I showed everybody the top 10 edge rushers in salary. Not one of them have been to a fucking Super Bowl and won it outside of Bosa getting there. I think that position's overhyped and overpaid, dude.
Not a bad take by you.
The Eagles did not need a premier edge rusher a year ago.
No, they didn't.
I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs have been to multiple Super Bowls, and they haven't had an edge that's a premier. I mean,
Josh was good, but he wasn't premier.
I mean, I think these guys, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, TJ Watt, what are these guys doing in the playoffs?
It's a good point. It's a good take. I mean,
you're paying them $40 million for what? To get bounced and go 9 wins.
Well, that's why I think, earlier, I don't know if Mark heard me, but I was saying, I get it. You traded away a great player, kind of a franchise icon. From that perspective, it sucks if you're a Dallas fan, but I don't really think that it's – you lost a great player. I don't really think the team got that much worse. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think we beat the shit out of them tomorrow because we're just a better team, but we'll see what ends up happening.
All right, big man. I appreciate you, man.
Later, Sills. Appreciate you.
Tomorrow on Birds, man. Yeah, listen. I've been asked the last couple of days, Sills, what are you making of? My thing is the return on investment. You send them to Green Bay. Why would you send them to Green Bay, bro? I mean, Green Bay is going to be now a contender in games that matter. When you trade them out of division, that's one thing. But what you did now, instead of playing him in the regular season, if you're Dallas, you may see that guy in a divisional game or in a wild card game. That's what you don't want to see. I don't mind seeing him in a regular divisional game. But seeing him in like the NFC title game, I don't want that. That doesn't, I would have made a move in the AFC. But anyway. So we haven't talked to Mark, and I got to give it to Nostradamus 500. He said he feels they're trading him. Homie came out and just said, hey, man, I feel trading. And I'm with Mark. I said this all day. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Without further ado, let's bring our man in who's been drunk for about 10 days now. He is our friend, Mark Combs, the #1 creator of Dallas content, and our dear friend, the legend, Philly 500, the king, and here he is, the #1 prognosticator when it comes to Cowboy content. Philly 500.
Not only did I call the trade, but I called Mark Holmes' response to the trade a week later. He's gone from I hate the trade to I think I was wrong, Jerry Jones.
No, I didn't say that.
You love
I didn't say
no.
Wait a minute,
no.
Mark. I'm going to give you the first. I'm going to give you the first response, and I want to hear your takeaway. And you've had time now, first to absorb it and to sit there and hear and see how this thing is played out. Your initial takeaway now with Micah Parsons being traded, who, by the way, made another comment today, did not want to leave Dallas at all. Let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, he said that, but this whole thing, it's like you're in a relationship, okay? Everything is great when you're together, but as soon as you break up with her, she's going around telling her girlfriend, girl, he never did it. He about this big. That's how it goes.
For me,
Micah Parsons, he had one quote yesterday where he talks about, here in Green Bay, everything's about football. I'm going to focus in on this, and this is exactly what I needed. Basically kind of saying all the drama in Dallas is something that, I'm glad I left behind. It's like, bro, you were most of the drama. You were the one with the podcast that you're, after we get mollywopped by the Detroit Lions, you're sitting there yucking it up with Big Play Slay. You're the drama. What are you talking about? Now, yeah, maybe he didn't want to leave. Maybe he's now in Green Bay and looking around and saying, where's all the fun stuff? Because that is a little small-ass town. There ain't shit to do in Green Bay compared to Dallas. And it might be like, damn. And then the taxes, he's going to make less money there than if he'd taken the 40 from the Cowboys because the taxes are going to eat it up. But be that as it may, I'm going to actually say that Brian Schottenheimer actually had a great quote about this because they said, well, what do you people are looking at this and saying you're kind of giving up on the season and things. He said, it's not really about this season. It's like, where are we going to be in 2 years? I'm just saying.
That's the moralizing mark to a locker room.
You know what? There was this super intelligent football knowledgeable guy who pointed out something that was very, very deep. That all of these high-priced edge rushers ain't done dick when it comes to playoffs or even making playoffs. And so when you start thinking about $47 million, Jerry has a point about maybe we can get other players. The execution of this is more of the problem. So it's just bad all the way around, between Micah and his situation and being, the guy that he is and rubbing people the wrong way to Jerry Jones waiting forever to sign him. It's just like everybody fucked up.
I agree. Philly, your takeaway on Micah Parsons being dealt to Green Bay.
Not a surprise. I thought he was going to get traded. When I saw him do the whole thing with the medical bench and lay there during the game, I was like, this is not going good. And as much as we were talking about Jerry Jones and Jerry Jones a certain way, he's not going to put up with that. So to me, it made sense that they traded him. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I actually thought Dallas would have gotten a little bit more for him.
Yeah,
I think they could have gotten a little bit more for him. But
why did they trade him, Philly? Why didn't they trade him draft day? Draft night,
they would have gotten way more. But why didn't they say give me Edrin Cooper? We're going to throw him in there too, or somebody like that. It was a little surprising. Or
Xavier McKinney.
Right. If you look at what the Bears gave up for Khalil Mack, it was more than what they got for Parsons. I just think the whole thing was butchered by the Cowboys and by Parsons.
I think it's going to do this, guys. I think it's either going to demoralize or it's going to galvanize. And I've been saying that on my program. I think that if Philly gets out tomorrow, Mark, and they get out to a 21-0 lead, I think it's going to demoralize. But if you're hanging in there, and this game is like a 14-7, it's like a 20-10 halftime score, you're still in the game. You're not demoralized. Because to me right now, when you take a superstar player out of your locker room like that, and you give these lame-ass takes where, hey, fuck, we're better now here, we're going to be a better – dude, don't talk to professional football players like that. You could talk to college guys like that. So I do think that Brian Schottenheimer has actually handled this better than I thought for a first-year head coach. He's got the right answers. I think he knows how to talk to Jerry Jones. Remember something. When you're the head coach of the Cowboys and you're in front of the media, Philly, when you're in front of the media and you're talking to the media people and you're the head coach of the Cowboys, you're not talking to the media. You're talking to Jerry. So you've got to make sure you're careful in how you deliver your message. I got to tell you, Mark, I think he's done a decent job of it.
Can I point out something here?
Sure.
So last year with Micah Parsons, we were, I believe, the worst team in points. Fourth worst
points
in
allowed.
yard. Huh? Yeah.
Points allowed.
Scoring defense. Right. We were fourth worst in yardage. We were worst in yards per run at 4.8 yards. Okay. We were literally one of the worst defenses with Micah Parsons. How much worse? Oh, honestly.
Mark, hang on.
How much worse could we be?
You got rid of him. I don't hate
Micah
got rid of him.
Mark, if I can lose with you, I can lose without you.
Mark, I don't hate you got rid of him. I hate what you got.
I agree with you on that one, 100%.
Okay, my problem is this. Look at the Philadelphia.
How quickly we change our view.
Here, how about this? Let me show you what the Philadelphia.
Don't get me wrong, Philly. Don't get me wrong. Would I rather have Micah Parsons on the team and have his ability? Yeah.
Why the Eagles don't?
But there's more dynamics to this, and we're getting kind of.
But you did a video after the trade, and
of course, I was drunk.
Said, but no, not that video. When you started to come around to this thinking, you said you admitted that he is not Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, I did.
He's not.
He's not.
I know. Well, we've been telling him that for how many years?
But here's the thing, though. I will still say about this now. Lawrence Taylor was one of a kind.
Yes.
But he also had a great supporting cast around him. When you start looking at Carl Banks and Harry Carsons and all those guys that were there, that made it was easy for him to be maximized his abilities because he wasn't so. I mean, you had to worry about Lawrence Taylor. The problem with the Cowboys is you got Micah getting triple team and ain't nobody else busting a grape. That's the problem with the Cowboys and had they signed him for $47 million, it would be just the status quo. You're not going to be able to get any better with us spending that kind of money. Top end, wide receiver, edge rusher, quarterback. It's just not enough money to go around.
Here's where I've been consistent, and I've been saying this since the Eagles convinced me. Actually, Philly 500, his general manager convinced me. The Philadelphia Eagles don't have elite edge rushers, and they dominated and were number one in the NFL last year.
But they've got elite.
They got elite interior defensive line.
Right. The interior line is what sets up that outside.
That's the difference right there, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to show Mark. I'm going to give you another stat. Look at the last 10 Super Bowls. Ready? You can't name one elite pass rusher that led his team to a Super Bowl. But what I can do is watch this. Jalen Carter, Eagles. Chris Jones, Chiefs. Right?
Yeah.
Patriots. Vince Wilfork, interior defensive line play. Fletcher Cox, Eagles. All these interior defensive linemen. The problem that you had was missing on Mozzie. That's what affected Michael Parsons being dealt because you couldn't stop the run. Where Philly and his Eagle team got better was that they landed on another Jerome Brown. They landed on Jalen Carter. Philly, that's what's changing, kind of changed the direction of your football team, is landing on Carter.
There's another one of those statistics out there that's kind of interesting too, if you look it up, is top paid wide receivers.
Oh, I agree.
It's really the elite tight ends.
A.J. Brown's the only guy to have won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years that had one of the elite contracts. Cooper Kupp didn't get that contract until after. So that's a true statement, too. I don't believe in signing those guys to big-time contracts. I mean, look at the Chiefs. They go there with Juju Smith-Schuster and Rashid Rice.
But
It's all in the QB.
But they got Kelsey as a tight end. That's the other stat is almost every one of them have great tight ends.
Here's something that Philly was fighting me on earlier on the program. I said this to him, and you tell him. Phil, I'll give it to you first, Philly. The stuff tomorrow with Dak in the playoffs has no bearing on anything tomorrow night.
No bearing.
I mean, he's 38. He's 38-4 in the East,
and either does that statistic.
Okay,
38-4 has no bearing on tomorrow.
Okay, well, wait a minute. So you want both of them? That doesn't have any bearing. But
I'm saying,
hold on, wait a minute.
I'm saying
you're telling me the postseason has a bearing on everything he does in his career. That's what you tell me.
No, what I say is how we look at him. Okay, how you look at Dak in the totality of best quarterbacks in the league today, you have to look at the playoffs. Going into tomorrow's game, you're right. The playoffs have no bearing on the first game of the regular season. And I'm just saying, either does his record in the NFC for the last 10 years.
I'm not holding anything against him in the playoffs tomorrow night.
I am not either.
Anytime that guy plays an NFC East team, that guy's resume does speak to the fact that he has great success to everybody.
Yeah, how many consecutive NFC East divisions has he won? How many?
In the last 21 years? Nobody.
None.
In the last 21 years.
Imagine you have a 38 that record.
There's
38
not one quarterback.
Consecutive divisions.
There's not one quarterback in the last 21 years who has that resume.
Well, nobody was talking about his 38 wins in the NFC East. What I'm saying is he's completely squandered.
Every Eagle fan resorts to this. The guy sucks in the playoffs. Fair. You're right.
He does. He does.
Has no bearing tomorrow night. If we're going to use that metric,
I agree. I agree.
Mark, if we're going to use that metric that he sucks in the playoffs, then you have to use the metric
it that he's good in the regular season against them.
He's 38-4 in the East.
But we're not using the metric of the postseason. Who's putting that in there?
Every Eagle fan out there.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody
Hold
on, Philly. You know, if the Dallas Cowboys shock the world and they win tomorrow night, every Eagle fan is going to say, well, he sucks in the playoffs in the regular season.
Nobody has
Come
said
on, man.
You're talking about when you're ranking quarterbacks.
You're full of shit,
when you're talking about how good a quarterback is compared to other quarterbacks.
Billy, all the
when
time.
you talk about tomorrow night,
are you serious?
His playoff record has no
Come on, Philly.
I keep saying it. How many times do I have to say it
right now?
Bulldogs trace,
you bring his playoff record up every day.
You're so full of shit every day.
Dak Prescott. What are we discussing? What are we discussing with Dak Prescott? What are we discussing? What are we discussing? No. This is some
no.
Shot JFK logic. That's what this shit is.
Somehow the Cowboys coming with.
It's
just regular season. Dak Prescott always plays good in regular season, but it's only playoffs that matter.
That has nothing to do with tomorrow night in the game. Nobody has ever said because Dak Prescott loses in the playoffs, he's going to lose week 1. God. Nobody has ever made that statement. Nobody. Who's ever said that? Nobody. I don't even speak Vietnamese, and they're not saying it.
The guy's a choke.
People in China, I don't speak Chinese. They're not saying. I can't even speak Spanish. They're not saying it. I can't even speak English. They're not saying it. Nobody's saying it. Nobody said it. Nobody has ever said that Dak Prescott can't win week 1 because he loses in the playoffs. That's the most.
They don't call him a choke artist.
He is a choke artist in big games. What do we say? And he's a pad statter during a regular season. Yeah.
He's 38-8, 38-4.
Yeah, and what has he done with that record? Nothing.
Again, there it is. Postseason against
titles in a row.
C-Mark,
you win 38 games and never get repeat division winner. How does that even happen?
38.
Come on. 38. Oh, yeah, but you're talking about
It's
2016,
actually 33 and 8.
2017,
I mean,
2018,
yeah.
2019,
It's
2020.
only 4 times
Not
that
the
the
same
Eagles have
team.
won. The Giants
It
have beat
has
them twice.
nothing
And
to
Washington's
do
got a
with
couple.
tomorrow. Has nothing to do with tomorrow. Just
You're
like
right. The
his
postseason
playoff.
doesn't either.
I agree.
Okay.
So I'm
No. What he's trying to do, Mark, is tell me and you that Eagle fans don't call him
A choker.
a choker.
he is a choker, but that doesn't. We're not talking about game one. We're talking about when we're talking about the totality of court. When Sills goes, I got the quarterback rankings here from CBS. Oh, Dak Prescott is number 8 and Jalen Hurts is number 12. Then we're talking about it. We're talking about it. But I'm saying that's when we're talking about it, the totality of the quarterback. Not talking about regular season.
Hey, Mark, where do you – okay, wait, Philly, where do you – no, I got to do Mark on this one. Where do you think you have the advantage heading into this game tomorrow night? Where do you believe –
Going against their secondary, wide receivers.
Okay.
Wide receiver and quarterback. That's really about the only spot that you look at and say, we got a chance. I'm sorry. The Eagles team is loaded. Their defensive line is great. My running game, I don't know that Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders is going to make that big of a difference compared to last year. Our offensive line, Tyler Guyton, has practice all week and is scheduled to actually start playing, but he's missed almost all of training camp. And we got another rookie that's starting on the offensive line. Another question mark. We got Clark to help us on to stop the run game, but he just literally got here, had a cup of coffee, and now we're going to throw him to the wolves, against that Eagles offensive line. Diggs is going to be playing, and he's probably about 85% coming back from microfracture surgery. And, we got linebackers that are all basically new. So there's tons and tons of question marks for us going into this game.
Absolutely. Here's my question for you, Philly. Are you 1,000% sold on your edge rushers heading in that you have good enough pressure that you're going to be able to get with those guys on the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, they had a nice stretch run. There's no doubt. I don't know who Jalix Hunt is yet. I've seen really good. I think there's something there. I'm with you. I'm with everyone. I think there's something, and I see what kind of the Eagles are thinking, but I mean, going into this game again, Nolan Smith, I mean, he's got to show he can play 17 games, and he's got to finally finish a season where he can stay healthy. Do you believe you get enough pressure on Dak, not for him to be able to take advantage a little bit of some of the suspect holes at safety and corner in that secondary of the Eagles?
I think eventually they'll get to him. But, I expect this game to be really ugly the first quarter. So I'm expecting a lot of rust. I expect back and forth early on. So I really think you're going to see multiple teams 3-and-outs, punting, feeling each other out kind of long. So I think it's going to take some sort of adjustment. But where I think they're going to have Dallas's number, and I think it's going to open up, is when we talk about the interior pressure. I think the interior pressure is going to be really good tomorrow, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because I think Carter's going to be Carter, but I think Jordan Davis is going to step up to the plate and have a big year. So I think that they'll get home. I agree with you. Jalix Hunt looked good. Nolan Smith looked good. And you got to try to let those guys develop. But, they got to go do it again. That's true.
How about this, though, here, Philly? This is where the Cowboys will equalize and have, I think, a small advantage. Mark, I'll tell you what, Landon Dickerson. So what I don't get is this guy's had 2 surgeries. He's now got a bad back he's heading into. Now he was in the walkthroughs. The last 2 days in Philly, they were walkthroughs, so you don't really get a good sense of anything. But if that guy is not healthy enough, you got Tyler Steen and some dude named Brett Toth that you're going to have interior-wise with Cam Jurgens in the middle. Philly, don't you think that gets neutralized? If he's not 100%,
he's not
heading into the game. You don't have the advantage in the O-line.
He's 70%. They're done. Dallas is done.
Yeah,
70%.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you start out the season at 70%, it's a long season.
Okay,
well, that may be true, but for this game, for this specific game, if Dickerson can play, Dallas is in trouble.
Here, get this. So why would I put a guy in a game?
Why are we assuming But
why would
are
I
we
put a guy?
assuming that,
Well, because
that
I'm not assuming he had 2 surgeries and he was listed earlier in the thing with his back. That's not assuming.
Yeah, but maybe his back hurt one day. He took Advil.
Here's what I'm saying now.
More like Tanadol.
If he is 70%, don't you need him for the season instead of the Cowboy game?
Of course. But I mean, that's just like, to me, that's just a giant if. I have to assume that if the Eagles put him on the field, that he can play, that he's ready to go. And we know from previous years, especially last year, that he plays at a high level, even injured, and he has a high tolerance for pain. So, I mean, I have to assume if he's, 80-90% or whatever, they're gonna be cautious about it. But
now those were
looks like
NFC Championship games, but I do agree with you. Okay,
no, but what I'm saying is I don't think the Eagles would throw him in.
No,
at
I agree.
70%.
I agree.
Is what I'm trying to say.
They side on protection. They do.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's game 1. It's, as much as we hype it up because it's Eagles, Dallas, and all that, it's still week 1. They're not going to throw him to the wolves, in my opinion.
How about this one here, Mark? So their head coach, Mr. Giggles, he was asked a question the other day.
Are you talking about Super Bowl champion?
Yeah,
Nick
wait a minute. Watch this.
Sirianni?
Hey, what about the banner falling? Goes, banner? I don't know anything about a banner. I didn't know a banner. Night. I don't know any. I mean, this guy's so full of shit. He goes, we don't know anything about it's banner night. What do you mean it's banner night? I don't know anything about banner night. Holy cow. Why can't this guy just tell the truth? He's got to be some bullshit artist. Everybody in Philadelphia is waiting for this thing to fall.
He knows.
And here he is. We're not going out there. We're not allowed to go out. These guys are grown men.
Man, you're really nitpicking, aren't you,
Boy,
Phil?
the Seals
really
is going on
today. He's really nitpicking. What if 38 wins for Dak Prescott? Amazing.
Watch this.
Hey, always says Dak Prescott can't do it.
Hey, get this. Here's the Eagles. You're not allowed to go out and look at the banner fall because that's a no-no. You're not allowed to say repeat. That's a no-no. You can't go out and watch the banner fall. Banner night? I don't know. Holy shit, man. These guys are fucking grown men. They can't go out there and celebrate. I don't know, man. I mean, hell, even C.D. Lamb said he's going to go out there and watch the banner.
Yeah, he's going to go and be for motivation. Go get motivated, buddy. Keep those players off the field. I have no problem with what they're doing. We don't need to do that.
All right, Mark, how many yards does your boy throw for tomorrow night?
Hey, Sills, wait a second.
About 340.
I just want to say one thing.
Brother. Go ahead.
I just want to say one. Look, the one thing that scares me about the season, the one thing that you have to be worried about is the players feeling great because they won last year. Something about losing that hunger, losing that focus is real. You got the Americas game tomorrow. You got the banner going up Thursday. You got Cooper DeJean, got Sileo. You got Saquon Barkley, got a documentary. It's just like, at what point
is it too much?
Focus back on
that sounds like the Dallas Cowboys.
That's the distraction. That's what
win.
You got to worry about.
Sorry, dude, they win.
That's what I fear.
They're not the cow. You're not. They're not the Cowboys. They win.
No, right. They're not the Cowboys. They win.
No, I'm saying that all that distractions and stuff is like the Dallas Cowboys.
No, Philly. You know what? The cereal bowl, all this shit that went on. It's a lot. It really for an Eagle
I don't even think DeJean was home.
Do that. You know, I got it.
That's what I worry about.
Mark,
what you really have to worry about, though, is, and see, this is the thing people don't really talk about a whole lot, is because you played in the Super Bowl, you've played extra games, and you have less time to recover, and that's where you look at Landon Dickerson. Couple of surgeries and stuff. He's kind of nicked up. That's where the injuries come in because your body only has many hits into it. And with that season ending in the middle of February, and here it is early September,
Mark,
it ain't much time.
That's
why they didn't do much in the offseason.
That's right. That's another great point by Philly. Don't you feel, Philly, that this offseason has been a little rushed? And what I mean by that is that they didn't. I mean, they're usually very proactive, right?
Yes.
At replacing things. And now you're seeing moves being made prior to the start of the season. Doesn't it seem a little rushed?
But it's also why they had the turnover they had. right? It's in 2017 we learned that we bring everybody back and they just won. You don't have a lot of hungry dogs, as Jason Kelsey said. And the other thing is a guy like Saquon. I mean, Saquon basically said he didn't do it pretty much anything except for keep in shape because he was trying to rest his body up as much as possible.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they tried to make it, the best adjustments that they can. Ultimately, we'll find out. I mean, it's got to play itself out. But those are all things that you have to worry about as champs. So Dallas definitely doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Hey. All
I
right.
need to
Mark,
win so
let's
bad.
do
Right?
something.
I mean, under Mark's theory, Dallas should come in, run up and down the field on the Eagles, be 3-4 steps ahead because we're still hungover
dude,
with Thanksgiving. We're fat
no.
and tired
The
and
fact
slow,
that you have
and
the
we're worn
majority
out.
of your roster together and you're not changing things. A third of our roster is new. We literally have all new coaches. And so it takes time, like
Bro, they
all
got
pointed
18
out.
new
September is a crazy month. It wouldn't surprise me the Cowboys came out and they mollywopped you, and we still ended up missing the playoffs.
Hey,
Because
Mark,
the first month you don't really know what you have the first month.
September's a liar's month
Yeah.
in the NFL. It's
It
a liar's
is.
month.
It is.
However,
It is.
the Eagles have 18 new players on their team. Okay, so 18 new players on their ball team.
And I agree with that. I think that's the right move. I think you have to have turnover when you get championships.
Bill Belichick always
Bill
turned his
Belichick
roster
has
over.
always said up to 30% of his roster would be different because you want guys that come in that have that hunger, that want to win. Not guys that are, the Eagles in 2018 Sills, it was, I mean, they look like, they won.
They finished 9-7, right? 9-7 or something like that.
I think they snuck in the playoffs and they lost to New Orleans, but I mean, it was bad. Especially the first half of the season was like, they didn't look like they were fully committed to winning.
So let me ask you this, Philly. Are you paying Reed Blankenship $15 million? He just changed agents and he got David Magola.
I saw that.
I saw that. With Green Bay, and that's Michael Parsons.
My feeling now is if you don't sign him early on, I'm in no rush. I'm gonna let the season play out. And
I don't think that guy's a $15 million a year guy.
Well, I don't know that he is either, but I'm willing to at this point let him play out. What is a top safety making?
22.
So 22. He's definitely not top 5. He should be paid around 11 or 12, somewhere in there. So it would depend on the contract. But I mean,
don't you agree though? The last 2 years have been so different. Like in 23, he stunk.
Well,
in 24, he was great.
That whole defense stunk, though. I mean, it was.
Yeah, but I got a feeling if you were on a bad football team, Quinyon Mitchell's not going to look bad.
No, but I don't view him as like a star safety. I view him as a very good player, a legitimate starter. You know what I mean? So I don't look at him as, Ronnie Lott or Brian Dawkins. I look at him as a guy who is a legitimate, decent starter when you got talent around him. And, you got to pay him accordingly.
Mark, what about the Deron Bland contract? Was that the right move to make for the Cowboys?
Time will tell. I mean, that was a reasonable contract offer for him. That was one that I might have waited on because he had the great second year, with all of the pick sixes and things. Last year, he didn't play until week 11. So it's kind of like, this is kind of gambling. Which guy do you have? Do you have a guy who's going to end up being injured, or do you have a guy who's going to be a pick magnet? But the Cowboys kind of needed to make some moves to kind of say, we didn't sign Micah Parsons because we're going to do these things. You can't go through and trade Micah Parsons and then sit there and sit on $40 million. If they get Tyler Smith, and this is where I will say that it is totally different. We've heard rumors that they're working on Tyler Smith. If they lock him down, then you've cut off any of the usual Dallas Cowboys in training camp signing a guy. And you have to say, okay, we're not about drama now. We're actually trying to do something.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look,
I love Bland. I would have had 4 pick sixes that year too. Right now, I would have had 4 with some of those passes he got. I mean,
hey, let me ask you here.
Okay. Luckier than that.
Tomorrow night, Dak Prescott goes for what?
340 yards, 3 TDs.
340 yards, And 3 TDs?
Mm-hmm.
3 TDs.
That's his average has been against the in the last in the 2020s, 305 yards, 3 TDs, and I think 8.9 yards per pass, and 72% completion percentage. He's played well against the Eagles.
CeeDee Lamb's numbers.
CeeDee Lamb, oh shit, 120 yards, 1 TD.
All right, hey, Billy.
Hey, if we can't pass the football,
Want to know what
and
I
be
think
efficient
Dak's
with it,
going to do tomorrow?
No, see, I think you're right, though, and I'll tell you why. The problem is going to be this, Mark. Are they going to be quality yards, or are they going to be garbage yards?
you didn't ask me that to begin with, but if we don't come out and punch them in the mouth early, then the game's going to be lost.
What do you
We
think?
have to come out and shock them.
Hey, Nostradamus, who picked the trade.
262 yards. Most of it, or at least half of it, will come in the fourth quarter when the game is well endowed. CeeDee Lamb's going to have 5 catches for about 57 yards. Pickens is going to have like 2 catches, and one of them's going to be like a 30-yard pass. They'll get lucky early, and that'll be about it. That's it.
Boy.
Hey, wait, what does Jalen Hurts throw for tomorrow? Well, first, let's start with the number 1 player in the NFL, Barkley. How many rushing yards does he have tomorrow?
202 yards.
202. How many TDs?
2.
202 yards and 2 TDs.
Here's what's going to happen.
How many Jalen Hurts throw for?
He's going to throw for 1. Here's how it's going to go. He's going to rush for 1. Here's how it'll go. I'm going to tell you how the game's going to go. It's going to come out early. It's going to be back and forth sloppiness, right? Eagles are sloppy. Cowboys are sloppy. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see the Eagles go up tempo, start running Barkley. He's going to break a 50-yarder. Boom, it's gone. Then the Cowboys are going to get the ball back. Then you're going to get a sack by Jordan Davis, causing a fumble that's going to be picked up. Eagles are then going to score real quick again. Devontae Smith. This game is done. It's over at that point. So 34-17.
34. Here it is.
34-17.
17. What do you have? Mark Holmes.
31-27 Eagles.
Wow.
What did he say?
31-27 Eagles.
That game's gonna give both of us a heart attack.
Well, here's what I can guarantee. Come Friday, our numbers will both be through the roof. Okay.
Right.
If the Cowboys win, it will break the internet. If the Cowboys lose, every Eagle fan out there will be there to troll me.
Here's my score. I've got 31-20. I've got 31-20 Eagles. And I said this. I think I agree with Philly. I think this thing's going to be fairly close in the first half. And I just think that time of possession is going to start. They're going to hand the ball back off. I see like 38 carries in this game for Barkley. He's going to be doing about 6 yards a carry. I mean, now look, depending on what Clark does in there, can they stop the run?
Well,
Dude,
he didn't do a good job against the
Billy. How about this? You're going to know this. I think this game's going to have, and you're going to be able to get a sense of this game in the first 12 minutes of this. You'll know what's going on in the first 12 minutes.
But see, here's the thing: is the one big question is we really don't know what Dallas's offense is going to look like or what they're going to do. Right? To me, early on is if I'm the Cowboys coach, early on I'm taking some big shots at some big plays because that's when you're going to surprise the Eagles. So Dallas.
They have an advantage there. The unknown.
They have an advantage, but you got to do it early because once the Eagles adjust to it, it's going to be a problem. So if I'm Dallas, I'm coming out. I'm taking shots, man. I'm taking a shot for Pickens.
So you're taking plus 25-yard plays down the field.
Like I'm trying to catch the Eagles early.
Mark is right.
Because that's what you do. If we don't
once
Fangio
adjusts, it's going to be different. And,
Mark,
and I don't know what kind of run game the Cowboys have.
That's right.
See, that's
knows.
The problem. And he, look, Dak has never thrown one ball in football action to Pickens. How much is the chemistry going to hurt them or help them? So it just really depends on those things. But if I'm Dallas, I attack early.
Here's where I'll say that we have a case study like that, because we had Amari Cooper come in the middle of the season and they instantly hit and went off for that season.
Yeah,
because it was literally a couple practices and boom, that turned that season around.
I remember the first game with Dip Kelly going to Washington. We didn't know what was going to happen, and they went out there and Washington didn't know what was coming at them. So it really depends. But I think if Dallas has a chance this game, they've got to hit on those big plays early, because I think if they don't get at least 3 huge plays, I think they're in trouble. Because I think once the Eagles now, and Patullo's the other question, because if he comes out and he wants to show how great of a coordinator he is, and he can throw the ball and have all these passing plays and gets away from what brought us to where we were, then we're going to make it a lot harder on us. If we come out there, establish the run, and just wear them out, by the fourth quarter, Barkley's going to break a 40-yarder, 50-yarder.
That's right.
And that's the end.
Hey, that right there, the mentality you have, Philly, it's not about winning the first quarter. It's about winning the game. You wear people out by the end of the game with your run game. Now, here's the thing I'll say about Dallas. If Dallas gets 120 yards rushing, hang on. Well, you know how he get 120 yards rushing? Big plays that he's saying down the field, because you get loosened early. And early, and you start getting a run lane with run lanes.
Right.
And you start creating where you've got the element of doubt. He's right. The only way they're going to get a run game going is what he said. By early.
I feel like if Dallas is going to have a chance, if this is going to be close, Dallas got to go up 10-0 early.
But it could end. You know what? If you make those gambles, you could get 2 pick sixes and you're looking at 14 love down too when you're doing
it. I mean, but I think
you can't play scared though.
If it's 0-0 in the second quarter and the Eagles are, they start to get going, I think it's a problem for Dallas. I think Dallas, their advantage is early, take advantage of big plays down the field.
You and I agree on that.
And the Eagles come out. And the Eagles' plan should be, we're going to establish the run. And we know we're doing it, but you can't stop us. That's to me what they got to do.
How about this one here? Last question for both of you here. Is this the last year in Dallas for Dak?
No. And here's why I'll tell you why it's not. Because they basically, if you are to believe all the stuff that you've heard, that this went all the way up to Dak as far as turning players off and things, the Cowboys sided with Dak Prescott. You have to look and say Dak Prescott is in the twilight of his career. Micah Parsons is in the prime of his career. Which one of these guys do you bet on? You want to bet on the guy who's the prime of his career. But they ended up letting him go, and we know that Dak Prescott apparently was part of that, looking at him side-eyed. The Cowboys, you have to look at it and say, we put Micah Parsons by Dak Prescott because we want him to learn from him and to become a leader like him. That failed.
How old is Dak?
They're siding. Dak is 31. If anything,
you still got 3 years.
Yeah.
You still got 3 years.
The best scenario for the Cowboys would be is he stays healthy. He gets about 32, 33 TDs, 10 touchdowns, and does the same thing the next year, because then you've got that draft capital where you can invest to try and get some playmakers and try and make a run. I think what that, to me, says is we've got 2 to 3 years to try and build a Super Bowl team. After that, then you've got to move on from Dak.
I think it's his last year.
You don't think Jerry?
It's still too much.
Do you think Jerry's trying to position himself for Arch Manning?
I think not necessarily Arch Manning. I mean, he stunk, by the way, the other day. He needs another year. He needs a whole another year. How about Miami, though?
Shout out to the kid Carson Beck.
That was awesome. I liked Miami, but
they're going to go far this year.
But I just think that the only way they keep Dak is if they're somehow in the NFC Championship game or go really far. I think if they're borderline playoffs, or let's say they don't make the playoffs, I think he's moving on. I think the move with Parsons was the beginning of him retooling. So, it doesn't have to be for Manning. It could be for somebody else. But I do. I think a lot of it is going to depend on how far the Cowboys go this year. Because if you're 2-3 years away, okay, and you got a 32-year-old quarterback, what's the point? What's the point in keeping him? You're going to be 35 years old by the time he's able to go. I mean, look, I don't think that's going to work.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, but remember this, guys. Tomorrow, September's a liar's month in the league.
Yep.
Hey, last year, look at this. Let me give you 2 examples, guys. The New Orleans Saints were 3-0, remember? They were scoring 40 points a game, and the Eagles were 2-2. And everybody was calling for Sirianni's ass. So 2 polar opposite teams, right, Philly? Everyone was like, holy cow, look at what they're doing. They're blowing teams out. They look great. The Eagles were 2-2, and people were screaming. You never know in a game like tomorrow night. I'm with you. I don't believe it either. I think there's too much talent on one side.
No, but you're right. You're right. The better teams are most vulnerable the first 4 games. It's true. It's true. But see, this is the thing with the Eagles, right? And this is why I don't worry about the coordinator. To me, I look at them and I look at the rest of the teams in the league, and I think, man, you know what you do well. You know how to do it. You run the ball. You have the best offensive line in football. You have one of the, if not the best running back, you have the best running back in football. If you don't get away from that, I don't think teams can beat you, because I don't think teams are built to beat a team that plays that style in today's football. So just stick what you do and don't try to be fancy, and you'll be fine. I really believe that. Keep it simple.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, you better make sure you keep an eye on both these guys. One for I don't know, if anybody's got a good shrink, you might want to have that one set up there for Mark Holmes. And the other guy, Philly 500, if you want to dance around a little bit after that game.
Yeah.
I'm sure both guys will be streaming the game live tomorrow night. Am I correct?
Streaming the game live and smoking cigars.
I'll have my Philly meltdown cam, so we'll be simulcasting.
Yeah. It didn't work out too well for you last year, did it?
The world is a better place when you have meltdowns. I will say that. Philly.
Philly's a good meltdown guy.
Oh my God. I've got some great ones. But I tell you what,
that's not good.
We were live streaming when Micah Parsons was traded, and I was taking shots of Zinger Run. I passed out on the bathroom floor, and the stream was still going. My wife comes upstairs. You got to be kidding me! I got people calling and says your stream's going and you're not there, and you're all right on the floor.
Is he all right? Philly 500's even going. Is the guy dead?
I was calling him. I was telling, are you okay? It's not that serious.
We will catch you, man. Thank you so much.
You.
We'll be watching very much. Thank you so much. Love you guys coming on. Thank you again, man. Have a great one, man. Both those guys are going to be doing the game live, so we appreciate them very much. Oh, my God, I can't wait for tomorrow, man. I love those 2 guys coming on talking Cowboys and Eagles, man. Great stuff. Make sure you check out Mark Holmes. Does great stuff when it comes to Dallas Cowboys, and also our boy, Philly 500. Guys, let's pay some bills here. Our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America, with over $30 billion recovered. This is what they do, okay? Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast defending families like you and your loved ones, making sure you do not get taken advantage of when it comes to insurance companies or other people. That's right. They go out and they make sure they get the best for you and your family. Do me a favor, log online to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
The following is a presentation of JAKIB Sports.
If you're a small business owner or you work for a company that loves the birds, you need to react fast before we've used up our entire ticket allocation. And here's why. In celebration of JAKIB Media's new partnership with Savvy Seats, JAKIB Media will give you a pair of VIP tickets for any game on the 2025 schedule, home or away. And we'll give your company or your boss a 20-week media sponsorship package across the #1 digital network for Eagles coverage, JAKIB Sports. And that includes all of our game day coverage. Cost for your business or company? About $50 a week. Let's recap everything. 20-week sponsorship package on JAKIB Sports, including commercial spots, live reads, and liners. Inclusion in all of our game day coverage, including the soon-to-be-announced Green Zone, and a pair of tickets to the home opener or any game on the 2025 regular season schedule. Remember, that's home or away. If you're in Kansas City and you want to go to the game against the Chiefs, no problem. If you live in Florida and you want to go to the game in Tampa Bay at the end of September, no problem. Text Krause at 267-261-3428. That's 267-261-3428. And remember, do it quickly before this incredible gift is gone. JAKIB Sports and Savvy Seats put you right in the action with VIP seating, as we are proud to announce our partnership for the 2025 season with Savvy Seats. Text Krause right now at 267-261-3428. That's 267-261-3428. And pick your game today. If you own a company and you're not producing a podcast, you're missing out. The public consumes messaging when they're ready. Join the professional podcast network of companies and let JAKIB Media Partners put you in the podcast arena. Come to our professional studio, or we'll come to your place of business and professionally produce your company podcast. Call JAKIB Media right now at 267-261-3428. 267-261-3428.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills, hit the like button. Appreciate you guys. We are on the eve of the start of the 105th NFL season. That will be tomorrow. Banner drops in Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia. Holy cow. Plus, you got college football on the flip side. I just started looking at some of the ratings. And, I mean, the ratings for these college football games this past weekend were just absolutely insane. Okay? So here's where we got here at safety right now. This is just an update. Andrew Makuba was full practice and he will play. Sidney Brown is starting. And he will be playing according to some packages that are being told to him that he's going to play in some packages. Adoree Jackson is starting at corner. Adoree Jackson ended up winning that job. Wow. What a colossal. Okay. What an absolute colossal letdown that's been for Keely Ringo is the fact that that he did not win that job and you had to go outside the building. Yeah, Xander, all good, bro. Of course. Yeah, I mean, so Adoree Jackson's going to start. Makuba's going to be in specialized packages. And Sidney Brown is going to start there at safety. So you're going to have safety, Brown, Adoree at corner. And I'm assuming Campbell's going to get the start unless Xander heard something different. And it's not going to be Trotter. It's going to be Campbell that's going to be starting here. So let's bring in Xander here again. So I don't think that's really a shocker. Adoree Jackson starting at corner. No, probably not.
No shocker there, Sills. I won't be long here. We already did our segment today. Thanks for bringing me up. There's just one thing I wanted to tell the people who are listening. So we've had on our program, on our channel for a couple years now, This Week in Pro Football with Pat Callahan. It airs normally Thursday nights, or with the Eagles playing tomorrow. We're going to air it tonight. the piece of note that I want to tell people is I'm sitting in the chair tonight for Pat Callahan. I don't want to share any details as to why, but we hope to have Pat back for next week. But I do want to promote Sal Palantonio is coming on with me. So I'm going to have the great honor to interview Sal Palantonio tonight to preview the Eagles and the Cowboys matchup tomorrow, and maybe even kick around a little bit of the week 1 matchup. So I'm looking forward to that. I just wanted to let people know to definitely check in, send some prayers up for Pat and his family. He should be all good, hopefully. I don't want to share too much of that, but he won't be in the chair tonight for those who do love Pat's show. It will be me. It'll be a short show. I'll have an intro. I'll bring up Sal, and we'll do a quick interview, and we'll get Sal Palantonio's thoughts on Eagles Cowboys.
So right after the program here, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go live right after the program, and then I'll probably bring Sal on around 6:05, 6:10, depending on when he joins me. I'm waiting on his email now.
Fantastic. Xander will be looking forward to that, brother.
Thanks,
and also,
brother. I
don't
appreciate
forget Birds 365 in the morning with him as well. So you guys make sure you check it out. Things are ramping up here, as you can possibly see here with the football season right around the corner. We send prayers out to Pat, too. It's a hell of a show he puts on. He puts great guests on, too. Always great content here on JAKIB. So, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We appreciate you guys very much. My top 3 MVPs. I gave you who I thought was going to win and who I thought was going to get into the Super Bowl. I'm going Bucs and I'm going Ravens this year to make it to the Super Bowl. My MVP, I got 3 of them. I wrote them down here. I got asked this the other day. Give me 3 guys that you're going to have for your most valuable player this year. Give me 3 dudes. And again, I have a vote with the NFL honors. I vote on the NFL's most valuable player on the NFL honors through the NFL Players Association. So, that honors award that you see, I have a vote, and I vote on the Coach of the Year. Also, with the Maxwell Awards, I vote on the most valuable player in the NFL. I voted for Jalen. I voted for Barkley last year, actually. Barkley got the Burt Bell Award, and I voted for Saquon. I thought Saquon was the best player in the NFL a year ago. So he's the guy I voted for. Here's who my preseason is right now. I got Lamar. I got Joe Burrow. And I got Josh Allen. Those would be I think Lamar wins his 3rd MVP. I got Burrow 2nd and Josh Allen. Those would be my 3 dudes that I have for the most valuable player award. I don't really like to give the quarterback list out prior. I like to do it after they play game 1. All right. So, well, it's a quarterback award, dude. Best player in the NFL a year ago was Barkley. He didn't win it. Do you understand, Brian? If Saquon Barkley couldn't win it with 2,000 rushing yards, nobody's winning it. Do you agree? I mean, you could have a 2,000 receiving guy. If you don't have, okay, Twiz, why would you want to go back to 2022 when the best player on your football team carried you to a Super Bowl a year ago? That makes no sense. And as long as Barkley's on that team, he's not winning an MVP. Barkley and him are going to equalize guys. They're going to equalize each other out, cancel each other out. Who cares about that with them? That's not going to happen. The offense is not running through Hurts. It's going to run through Barkley again. And it's a good thing. You disagree? Well, that's not what happened a year ago. A year ago, it ran through Barkley, and you won the Super Bowl. I mean, this guy disagrees on what they did a year ago in a Super Bowl season. Figure that out. Hey, I disagree. So you disagree with the way they won the Super Bowl a year ago. That's funny. Hey, listen, I don't agree. You don't agree with what? The way they won the Super Bowl? Okay. What are you talking about, guy? They were 2-2 after last year. Dude, another dumb take. People don't realize how big dude, it's one of the greatest honors I have. Every year is voting on the Maxwell Awards. And I vote on the Maxwell Awards. I vote on the Walter Camp. I vote for the NFL Coach of the Year. I vote for the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. I vote for the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. And I also vote for the MVP. If I'm not mistaken, I think 3 Eagles in the last 45 years, 50 years have won that award. Let me see that here. Burt Bell Award. That was the original. My uncle won that award. My uncle was an MVP. Burt Bell Award. Burt Bell Award MVP list. Robustelli won it. He won that award. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first guy to win it was Alan Page. Actually, it was Unitas. It goes back to the 50s. Yeah, Robustelli won it in 62. He won the NFL's Most Valuable Player Award. An Eagle won it in 65. Jaworski won it in 80. I thought Reggie won it. Cunningham won it in 90. Yeah, Cunningham won it in 90. Randall won it again in 98 with Minnesota. Vic won it in 2010. I didn't know that. This is a big-time award. This is a huge award, this Burt Bell. I didn't know Michael Vick won that award. That's an MVP type. He played that. Hey, Michael Vick played that well in 2010 here in Philly. Wow, I didn't realize that. What did he win it? Yeah, he won it with the Eagles. Yep. Carson Wentz won it in 17. Hurts won it in 22. I voted for Jalen in 2022 for the award. Sure he does. He stunk all the way to the Hall of Fame. Let's see here. MVP, no thanks. I'll take another chip. Yeah, right. Okay, well, players want both. So, what are your thoughts on living in the past? Well, your mom likes it when I bring her name up. Hey, Xander, we missed a couple of supers while those guys, if we want to hit on those, while those guys were on with us. So, I don't know. I think we had a couple. I don't want to make sure that we miss some of these. Come on, Sills. The perspective in Philly is playoffs and Super Bowls. The perspective in Dallas is regular season or worst season is a great season to Dallas. You're talking publicity there. And right, Jerry, unfortunately, that's where he lives, is right now. That's where he is with that right now. So, unfortunately, the Cowboys have no future because Jerry doesn't care about winning Super Bowls because those are actually in the rear view. Okay? I mean, they're in the rear view. This guy's won 3 Super Bowls. As far as he's concerned, it's about growing the league and about growing his brand. Look at the move that he just made with Michael Parsons. Did the Cowboys get better? You know, I don't think they got worse. I don't think the Parsons deal made them worse. Do you really think that Michael Parsons was going to have an impact in that game tomorrow night? I don't know. I've never seen Michael Parsons have an impact in one Eagle game since I've been covering you guys. I've not seen one game where I went, wow, what a difference maker. A.J. Brown is a difference maker. Barkley is a difference maker. Hurts in the last 4 years has been a difference maker. Michael Parsons has not been a difference maker. I don't ever remember an Eagle game where I went, hey, man, that right there, okay, That right there is great. I don't ever remember. Here's Crowley. Dude was in the backfield a lot. I don't remember that. I just remember the Cowboys getting blown out. Really? He was in the backfield? Doing what? Running past plays? I don't remember Michael Parsons being an impact football player. Are you trying to tell me Michael Parsons was not getting stuffed by Lane Johnson? Lane Johnson fucking owns him. So my problem wasn't getting rid of. I didn't have a problem with them getting rid of Parsons. I had a problem in the return. Okay? In the first game last year, they did get blown out, but it was close early on. Well, I love hearing that. But just like a book, the book is the totality of what the story is. So you hung around for a little bit, then you got your ass kicked. Okay. The story was you got your ass kicked. Well, here, let me segment it. Now I know why a lot of people go 10-1. And you guys were barking about your 10-1 team a couple of years ago, and I'm going, yeah, that's not a good team. Yeah, but we were 10-1 and Jalen was in the MVP. That's not a good team. I mean, that was not a good football team. And they played more like they were towards the tail end of the season that year. That's, again, my comment was in reference to Barkley and not winning the MVP. Okay. But Barkley wanted the MVP. Bro, he needs the MVP to go to the Hall of Fame. Are you under the impression that you go to the Hall of Fame because you have Super Bowl wins? Half the Hall of Fame doesn't have Super Bowl wins. You go with accolades, accomplishments, MVPs, Player of the Year. That Player of the Year award is a huge award for him in his career. Why? Because the rest of it, his career has been underwhelming. Saquon Barkley's career has been underwhelming. His time in New York was underwhelming. Not his fault, not the point. It's the environment he played in. I mean, is Barkley a great talent? Absolutely. Still, it was an underachieving career in New York. We all agree to that. Okay? It's not that ancient fucking history, guy. You don't go to the Hall of Fame on one season. This guy will try to convince you that because he had a great year last year, that this guy's a Hall of Fame player. That's not how it works. I work with those men. Those guys come on and tell you. I put the info together for who's going to be considered for the Hall of Fame on 7 different voters. Cole, Howard Balzer, Jared Bell, a couple dudes in New York, Ira Kaufman in Tampa. I put all the information together for players, me, on who should be inducted. They make the call, obviously, on who they're going to select. I'm the one that puts a lot of the information together. I'm the one that put the stuff together for Eric Allen. I put it together. Get this. 23 has no bearing on this season. Not the point. It's a reference, asshole. He could have doesn't do anything. Could have. You're giving people the benefit of the doubt is what you're doing. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. That's not how you choose somebody for the Hall of Fame, the benefit of the doubt. You might as well put Bo Jackson in. Bo was a better player. Hey, get this. Saquon Barkley's nowhere near the talent Bo Jackson was. Should we put Bo in? Okay? I mean, should we put him in? Bo Jackson was 10 times the player Barkley is. That's a common theme. Sills, does Parsons give the Packers a better chance to beat the Philadelphia Eagles? Listen, I'm not there that Parsons is going to change the world in Green Bay. I'm just not there because I don't think the quarterback plays enough consistent football. How many times have I told you, when I see Jordan Love, I do this. Wow. Is that guy a great football player? And then I do this. What's he looking at? Dan, Saquon will need 1,700 a year to stay on a Super Bowl trajectory, or you mean a Hall of Fame trajectory? Look, right now he's 62nd in rushing. I'd say he needs another Super Bowl in probably 5,000 yards. He's got 72 or 67. I don't know where it is right now. But he's going to have to get over 12,000 rushing yards. And right now he's roughly 8, 9, 10, 11. He's about 4,300 yards off that. So he's going to need another 5 years, barring he stays healthy. Okay? If Saquon breaks the record and leads it to another Super Bowl, he'll get in. Okay? Well, we shall see. That I do not believe will happen. He's not breaking any record, and maybe he gets another Super Bowl. Let's see here. Exactly. So how is he a bust? The fucking team around him was a bust. Okay. He had an underwhelming career in New York. Wasn't his fault. Derrick Henry had a shitty Tennessee team and averaged 1,700 yards a year there for 7 years. Bust? No. The team around him? Like I tell you, Guy, Jalen Hurts' benefit of having a really good organization around him. All players have that also around them. Sometimes you're not given a good team. That's when you're drafted number 2 overall. He was underachieving in New York. The organization failed him. Okay? Thanks for having me on today. If Barkley got $2,000 this year, I think he's an MVP. If Barkley gets $2,000 again, Philly, thank you, bro. If he gets MVP, yes. I voted for him for the MVP a year ago. Okay? I did. I thought he was the best player in the game. I didn't really think it. I thought that Lamar, how I looked at last year's MVP race, I went, that's okay, Chuck. If I were to go last year, I went like this. I went Barkley, Allen, and Lamar. Very close, all three. Okay? This is a lie. I posted my votes for Barkley online for Maxwell Award. You can go look. Once again, that's a lie. We did not vote for Josh Allen. We voted for Saquon Barkley. Okay. Let me see if I can even bring it up here. Sileo Maxwell Award. $2024. Hope I can bring it up. Let's see, because I posted my award, my ballot, I mean. Barkley. Let's see here. If I can find it. I know that I have it in my mailbox somewhere. I'll repost it for Sue. We voted for Saquon Barkley. Thank you, Sue. Appreciate it. Seals never had a team around him. Barry Sanders. Correct. That's right. Never had a team around him. Maybe also, Sue, I could probably find it in my email. Maxwell Award. Maxwell Award. Dan Sileo. I get a chance to vote on that every year. Let's see here. Sent. I will find it. I think I deleted a lot of it. Thanks, Sue, for looking for me. I appreciate it. Seals, my brother and husband, I got to share this together. We all agree on Lamar. Lamar's a phenomenal football player. Lamar Jackson will go down as truly one of the greatest and most gifted players ever to play. Absolutely. He will go down. I think I put it on my Facebook too. Maxwell Award. Post. Let's see here. Because I know I put it out there. I posted it on the award. Because like I said, what I do is I clipped it a year ago and put it out there. Anyway, as a Packer fan, I would be psyched with the trade because it signals they are all in on a Super Bowl run. They are. Okay? They are all in, especially when you're paying $47 million. But yes, Lamar, yeah, whatever. Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest players ever to play in the National Football League. He's an iconic talent that's very seldom seen. Nobody's ever seen anybody play the position the way he plays. 4,000 rush, 4,000 passing, 40 touchdowns, 800 rushing. Nobody plays a position like he does or ever has played with the talent level he's played. Barry Sanders made the playoffs 5 times. You all say he never had a team around him. Well, obviously, Texas. Barry Sanders then, according to people, was a failure because he didn't win a Super Bowl. Even though the Detroit Lions never really he didn't really have a great team around him. I played in Detroit. Barry didn't have a great team. He had there were a couple teams. One team made it to the NFC Championship. They lost to Washington. They were a pretty good team. But Barry Sanders that's like telling me that you think Saquon Barkley's better than Barry Sanders because he went to the Super Bowl and won it and gained $2,000. How many people, let me see that. How many people in here believe Barkley's better than Barry Sanders? Just so I can get a sense again of how dumb some of you are. You think Barkley's better than Sanders? Barry was lucky to play on turf. Really? So you think playing on AstroTurf is better than playing on grass for your health? Interesting. I had never heard that before. Not yet? He'll never be. What do you mean not yet? Talent, career, pick one. You think Saquon Barkley is a more talented player than Barry Sanders? Wow. Now, hey, listen, I'm not going to get angry at some of you anymore. If you really think that, then yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you this one. Let's see. Let me ask you this one. You think Barkley is a better player than Emmett? Do you think that Barkley's a better player than Emmett? Okay. I got it from now on. You'll have to excuse me because what was the Dallas Cowboys before Emmett showed up? They had the same O-lineman. I mean, that O-line was in Dallas before Emmett showed up. So when you call him the greatest O-line, all those guys were there in Dallas. His career's not over? Bro, I don't give a fuck what his career is. So M. Reyes and Twiz think that Saquon's a better ball player and more talented than Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Okay. Good luck to you guys. Okay. Those are the two with Peyton and Brown, the greatest football players ever to play the position. He's not even remotely in the room with them. He's like with Adrian Peterson and them dudes, who is a fabulous ball player. He's like a Curtis Martin. He's better probably than Curtis. Like here, let me go down the list here. You guys have a higher opinion. I wonder if you had this same opinion of him when he was in New York. Wow. His career's not over yet. Well, yeah, it is. He's 27. Yeah, it is, Sue. He's 27 years old. It is almost over. Barkley's better than Gore. Barkley's not better than Peterson. He's better than Curtis Martin. He ain't better than LaDainian Tomlinson. He's certainly not better than Eric Dickerson. Dorsett, probably the same kind of back. Brown, never. Falk, never. James, probably. Marcus Allen? No, because Marcus Allen was a better pass catcher. Franco, yes. Thurman, yes. Henry, no. OJ, never. How about this? Let me ask you a harder one. You think that Saquon Barkley's a better running back than LaShawn McCoy? How many people in here believe that Saquon's a better player than LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy? I don't. Where? In what metric? You mean he had one better year? Shady had a better career. Shady had a better career. If he was here, dude, that's not reality. That's not reality. If Walter Payton was in Philly with this O-line, Walter Payton would have 30,000 rushing yards. Okay? He is not more talented. Based on what? 1 year? Dude, those other years that he had are average. They're not exceptional. He does not have an exceptional career. Dude, Josh Jacobs has had a better career. And he played with the Raiders. He's had just as many 1,000 yards rushers. He led the NFL himself in rushing. It's fucking crazy. Bro, that guy has not had that great a career. He's had a good career. He had a phenomenal year a year ago. Here, look. Here's Saquon's career. He's at 7,200 rushing yards. First year, 1,307, 11 touchdowns. Great, great season. Next year, 1,000 yards, 1,003, 6 TDs, nothing. 34 yards, 593, 1,300, okay, 962. That's not exceptional. 2005, exceptional. The rest of those years are filled with injury and shitty teams. Making it sound like that guy's had a better career than Shady McCoy is a joke. Now here, is he a guy that was hampered by injuries? Well, that's part of it. Well, that's what puts you in the Hall of Fame. You don't give the benefit of the doubt based on talent. Bo Jackson would be in the Hall of Fame. Dude, I help these men pick players every year. I know the process. Shady would have. Hey, how about this? If Shady had this old line, James, do you think he'd have gained 2,000 yards a couple times? If Shady was on this team, how many yards do you think he'd have? Okay, I know, but it was more in a mop-up role. You know what I'm saying? No better than Sanders and Bo Jackson. I mean, yeah, well, you want to give somebody a benefit, you give Bo the benefit. You're talking two different things. Saquon is more talented, as never happened. He is not more talented. Dude, Emmitt Smith gained 10,000 rushing yards in high school. Another 4,000 in 2 years at Florida. 3 years at Florida. And 17,000 rushing yards in the NFL. Over 20,000 with the playoffs. Are you fucking nuts? Good God. And Troy Aikman was not a top flight quarterback. 3,200 yards, 2,900 yards. You're fucking out of your mind. Emmitt changed the entire landscape of the Cowboy dynasty by winning those 3 Super Bowls and an MVP. You're underestimating how great the guy was. Great at every level. I mean, this guy had get this. You see this here? Here's the point. Every level that guy played on, he was the best. Whether it was high school, college, and the pros, he was the best. It didn't matter where he went. Barkley went to New York, and it was underwhelming. Emmitt went everywhere and made everything better and won championships everywhere. No, wait a minute. Emmitt went to a fucking 4-win Cowboy team and turned him into a 3-time Super Bowl champion. What are you talking about? Yeah, he was 35 in Washington. He was 35 in Arizona. Great. Guys talking shit on him on 1 year in Arizona when he didn't even want to play there. Holy cow. Okay, well, explain this to me. What was Dallas before Emmitt showed up? Nothing. That so-called great O-line that you guys talk about? Every one of those players were in Dallas for 5 years. Jimmy didn't build that O-line. Whatever. Okay, Saquon's the greatest. So tomorrow night, listen, the Cowboys will have the element. Okay? They will have the element of surprise. Let me pay some bills here. Hey, our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, no question about it, with over $30 billion recovered. Guys, phenomenal. If you're ever injured, the number one injury law firm in all of America is Morgan & Morgan. Pennsylvania, I told you about the family that had, an offer of $650,000. They ended up getting $30 million in recovery because that insurance company came in with an underwhelming offer. Morgan & Morgan went in and got that family $30 million. Do me a favor. If you're ever injured, go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Guys, great stuff. We appreciate you very much. Thank you again. Stay tuned for Xander. And really a great show coming up here this week in football. We appreciate you guys. Till tomorrow, folks, we got it. We got the pregame tomorrow. We also have the game tomorrow night between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Have a great one. Please hit the like button, and we will catch you on the flip side.